Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESA Contenders tonight. My name is Keglonek, and we have the wonderful and beautiful Lynx with us again as my co-caster. We have a fantastic matchup tonight. Earlier tonight, we had a 2-0 between a fantastic, formidable Varsity Gaming and Globo Gym. But this time around, both of these teams have had some interesting encounters with Globo Gym in the past. We have All4One against Dojo. Now, Lynx, we've had some interesting matchups with Dojo and All4One in the past, including Scams Flops, Digital Dynasty, and it all kind of leads up to here right now.
Indeed, it does. And well, as you mentioned, Globo Gym, All4One actually played them last week. The first map, as you can see on your screen, was Clubhouse. All4One won one map in the series versus Globo Gym, and it was Clubhouse 7-4. So we'll see the bans real quick. I think I might have given one away in the pick phase, but that's my bad. So Theme Park, Coastline be the first ones banned out. There you can go. Clubhouse be the first one banned. As I said, All4One won that 7-4 in their series versus Globo Gym. Second map will be Oregon, something we just got done seeing in the previous matchup. Consulate will be the second map banned out, so I won't have to bear through that. Villa will be the final one, meaning that our final map is Cafe once more. 2/3 of the same map, so hopefully we'll get some consistency in terms of play.
Yeah, two-thirds, like you said, unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing Coastline either banned or even just shown in general tonight. I mean, that's really sad. I like seeing
I do
Coastline.
too. I'm a coastline guy.
Yeah, we don't see Coastline nearly enough as we should in this kind of area of play. But you know what? It does happen. We do have maps that both teams are feeling very comfortable with. We are waiting on one more player. So, like you said before, two-thirds of the maps we had seen previously, Oregon and Cafe.
This man, this man.
I'm a New Englander. But when it comes down to it, I don't know because All4One has an interesting track record. They don't have any points so far on the board, but Dojo
They do
has
not.
one. And so this could easily be an easy 2-0. But it could also be a 1-1. It could really go either way. There's no real I feel like we're going into this relatively blind. We know the past histories of both of these teams, but it could really be neck and neck.
Yeah, I think it certainly could go either way. They're close enough in the standings where it's not like if we had Varsity going up against All4One or Dynasty who are on polar opposites. You can make a consolidated prediction one way in that circumstance. But no, the All4One is just a couple places below Dojo, and they only have 1 point less. Dojo just getting their first point, I believe, 2 playdays ago. But again, they lost it last playday. So you're right. This could go either way. It could be a 2-0 on Dojo or All4One side, as All4One is starting out on a map they did just win last week. Or this could be a neck and neck match that goes on until the better part of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, for at least, the best time zone right now, it's currently 9:30 at night. I could easily see this going to midnight, possibly, if we go into map 3. But map number 1 being Clubhouse is a very structured map. A lot of teams know exactly what kind of strategies they want to bring out for both attacking and defending. And when we get to the nuances of it, of course, band operators, and even how other teams play against each other, it's all kind of figured out, especially on Clubhouse. Cafe and Oregon are some of the, well, newer reworked maps, but I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to say that Cafe is a newer reworked map because of how long it's been in the game. But Oregon's the latest one to come out, and both of these, all three of these maps, I would say, are pretty defender sided.
Certainly, Clubhouse, the longer it stays in the game, becomes less and less defender sided, but it still is certainly leaning towards that direction. Cafe, as we just saw previously, was fairly even for the most part until Varsity got on their attacks and they started pulling rounds together. But again, it was still fairly even through the course of that matchup. And as you said, Oregon, most maps when they first come out, they're pretty defender sided. That's the the side in the game that inherently it favors. If you have a round and the diffuser doesn't go down, the defenders automatically win no matter how many of the attackers are left. So of course, when a map first comes out, that's the side it's going to lean towards. And since it is the newest map that's come out, it's gonna lean defender sided, and it does, especially in North America.
Absolutely. And now, on Monday's playday, if you were around to see that, we did see some interesting plays on the attacking side where we saw the majority, actually, no, we saw every single attacking round on both teams for Clubhouse go for 3 hard breachers
True.
out of the 4. I mean, the 3 legal ones
No
in
ace.
the
No ace was
pool.
brought. Nobody brought an ace that we failed to rule against.
Yeah, as far as we are aware of. But yeah, overall, it worked out really well for both sides using just all hard breachers. And it makes a lot of sense. We were kind of inquiring as we were casting it, trying to figure out, okay, well, it makes sense, but is it the best option?
Mhm.
And I believe it was our interview with who, Frobo, I want to say.
Fogo, the
Fogo,
coach
yes.
for Unreal Nightmare.
Yes. And he really walked us through it. And we got that coach kind of
Ooh, no.
competitive.
No,
No, it
actually,
wasn't. That was
it
before.
wasn't. No, yeah, that was the previous matchup.
I
I don't remember the exact player, but it was a player in this is Rivals, by the way,
oh,
we're talking about, not Contenders, just so everyone's aware and they start getting confused. This was a player for, I believe,
he's
might have been Wasted Potential. That's who it was. It was a
it
player on
was
Wasted Potential that walked us through that triple hard
truly, but
breach.
was it truly? No.
Either way, our memories aren't serving us well right now. But the whole point is that triple hard breacher strategy. On some sites, it had diminishing returns. On specifically basement, it had some place, but there was one particular round where I think somebody ran out and killed 2 of the 3 hard breachers. So I
Yes.
guess that's a good point. But the main spot we saw that triple hard reach play back on that first Rivals Playday on Monday was on the gym bedroom side. Normally, you'll see a lot of teams stack inside of cache, and what they mainly used was to get that main cache wall that connects to CCTV and the wall on red stairs to provide too many angles for the defender inside of cache to hold, and eventually he gets pinched out. But that was really the main site that it worked the most efficiently on. On the other 2 sites, they kind of started getting in each other's way and ended up not even using a few of their hard breaches. There were many rounds where either the Hibana had a couple X Kairos in her pocket or the Thermite only had 1 exothermic. And their reasoning was that in case one gets killed, they can use another one. But again, if we see a similar strategy play out, we'll see that same diminishing returns effect occur.
Absolutely. It's a matter of seeing if Dojo or All4One would even play that same exact strategy again. We are still waiting on one more player, but when it comes down to those hard breaches, I mean, maybe either of these teams were watching Monday's play day, and perhaps maybe one of those hard breaches will be banned. And that will kind of throw a monkey wrench into
Mhm.
everyone's plans, possibly going forwards. But it's a matter of seeing what's going to happen next. Now, speaking of operator bans, I do want to touch upon something that happened the last set we had seen between Versity and Globo Gym was that the Thatcher was not banned 2 games in a row. And you brought this up during the interview, is that Thatcher was seldom seen a
Yeah.
lot on the cafe map.
Yeah, he was brought quite frequently on Oregon, which makes sense. Thatcher is very necessary for that map, but Thatcher is pretty necessary for most attacks in the game, which, as you said, made it pretty confusing when on Cafe. He didn't get brought a single time, not a single round on either attacking side, really, was a Thatcher brought and utilized. And with Thatcher going unbanned, that's extremely odd. On Clubhouse, he is an operator that's usually banned. Him and Maverick are probably up there, definitely top 3 for the most banned attackers on Clubhouse. Sometimes they only get banned once, but then sometimes they both get banned at the same time. And when you see matches like that play out, that's when the Clubhouse really gets defender sided and really makes it hard for the attack to gain a foothold in many of their rounds.
Absolutely. And I believe it was on that same exact matchup too. And again, memory might not be serving me too well. I believe it was either the Bandit or the Kai that got banned. You're gonna need to help your help clarifying on that one. But
The
it was
Kai, the Cade went unbanned. I'm not sure if any hard breach now got banned here. Let me go back through my notes.
yeah. Oh, it was Kai. It was Kai.
It was K that got banned. Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
quite remember, but I'm gonna trust you. I think you were right on that one.
It,
Yes,
Kai.
K did get banned.
It's weird too because Kaid, you normally don't see banned too often. He's a very strong operator when it comes to Clubhouse. I would say out of just about every map in the game, I would say Kaid's the strongest on Clubhouse, as far as I can think of in my head.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially with a Thatcher ban. If a Thatcher's banned and you're on CCTV, Kayed is an extremely useful operator. You get those electro claws up on the rafters to electrify garage door. The attackers can't shoot it unless they're physically up on rafters or they throw a grenade up there. And so yeah, when Thatcher's banned, you basically can't get those walls open on that CC site. And again, if you have Thatcher banned, it's gonna make getting those hatches a lot harder. So when Thatcher's banned, Kate is so strong on Clubhouse.
but that's all right. You can just run 3 hard breachers and
Yeah,
call it a
exactly.
day.
Just run 3, and if one gets taken out, no problem. You can still open up hatches or whatever you want. Dude, when Ace comes in, there's probably going to be a comp match in the future where we see 4 hard breaches get run. And
No, let's go on top of that though. And eventually in the future, let's say 2 years out from now, and you can even clip this. We're gonna have
we're in
5
year
hard breachers.
7 of Siege. We have
Yeah, we're gonna
yeah.
alien operators like a Lubin and
Alien.
Gugalugagaluv, going out from Mars, coming down, attacking and defending people, and then we're gonna have 5 hard breachers on the attacking
And
team.
then also we have that secondary hard breach gadget, which is coming out soon. So we'll just have who even knows at that point. Do you think they'll make a hard breach operator, but then also give them that secondary hard breach? I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't, but we've seen some kind of like odd moves from secondary gadget choices in the past. Like right now on the so Dokkaebi for a short time, I don't remember the exact patch, but they gave her frags and then she was way
Mhm.
too strong and they took them away. In the new patch on the test server, I think they gave her frags back. Like sometimes
Interesting.
I'm just so confused with the secondary gadget choices sometimes. Like, why? We already figured out that it didn't work last time. Why are you trying it again?
It's
Same.
really
Yeah.
tough. It's really tough because we've seen frag grenades especially. I wouldn't even say, I mean, it is secondary utilities
Mhm.
having kind of a hard time fitting into the game at times, but it's frag grenades especially. We've seen, oh god, IQ, Buck,
Give IQ frags
Maverick,
back. Give her
yeah,
frags back. I don't care. Give them back.
Dokkaebi, I'm missing a lot.
Thermite had frag
Thermite,
grenades at launch.
Thermite.
At the very beginning of the game, he had frag grenades. Yeah, actually, so going off of that, in Terron, I don't know if I think it was the Bosco 6-on-6. I'm not entirely sure. He brought up an idea about instead of having specific operators with secondary gadgets, you would just have a pool that you could choose from. So, like, say on your attack, you could choose 4 frag grenades, but only 2 people could have them, and that was your max. You could only have 2 operators with sets of frag grenades, and then maybe 3 operators that could max have flashes. And that's something that I actually like to see experimented with. I think that that could kind of solve the problem we see of secondary utility getting switched around and things like that. And I don't know, it's something I would certainly like to see experimented with.
Yeah, I think that would be a complete game changer for Rainbow Six. It's one of those things where I really want to stay positive and say, hey, this would be a great addition to the game. But a more cynical part of me also says that it may be maybe a little too late in the game's lifespan to
Yeah,
add something like
yeah.
that. But it's kind of on the table. It could go either way. If they do add that, I really hope they take their time doing it, similar to operator bans and having sixth pick, where they did take their time with it. Maybe a little too much time, but it worked out really well and it was a huge game changer. So maybe doing something like that could fundamentally change the game more positively.
Yeah, perhaps. There's been a lot of discussion about adding operator bans for a while now, and even on whether or not 6 picks should get in the game. This game, that's the great thing about video games. It's never a fully a finished product. It's always in flux. Things are always changing. Things should happen. Now, obviously, that can have its problems because I'm sure, as everyone knows, the more operators get added to Siege, we kind of see some things go up. Like Goya was super strong for a bit, then he got a shield taken away. And so far, over the past few play days and the past couple months now, Goyo has really fallen out. I think he got played a couple times in that match we casted Monday, but he's been really silent, along with operators like Mozzie, who just flashback 4 or 5 months ago were basically mainstays on the defending lineup. So again, that just goes to show how much in flux the state of this game is.
Yeah, definitely. And it goes even farther back than that. Let's say even Twitch has had a huge history
Oh, true.
of being super in play, then falling out really hard in favor, and then coming back. There's only a few operators that have been a mainstay since they came out. And I would say that's pretty much down to like maybe five,
It's
Ash
yeah.
Yeager,
It's like
Thatcher,
the main
Mira.
it's like the main hard breach. Like all the hard breachers
Oh
really
yeah.
well, I guess only there was one hard breacher at launch. Like Thermite, he's been pretty much the same since launch. Sledge has been pretty much the same. I mean, the prevalence might have changed a little bit. Like Ash has seen a lot more focus since Wamai got introduced in the game. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of those main operators like Thermite and people that came out with him, well, what operators would you say are kind of like that? So you mentioned Thermite, we mentioned Sledge, and kind of Ash. What are some others, do you think?
Well, kind of mixing what I wanted to say next and then what you were saying together. I think there's a huge power creep issue at times too. So I think Thatcher is kind of the best of both worlds in those conversations because he has virtually not changed since he
True.
came out. And then his gadget is super simple, but that's the big problem with it is that it's so unbelievably simple and it can just wipe out the entire site if used correctly. And it's things like that where it was really balanced in the game's beginning, where there weren't a lot of, in terms of the game's realism, battery operator electronic gadgets. But now having a huge reliance on those for the defending team, it really it's a huge power creep thing. And IQ is in a similar boat, but she's in a kind of a different situation.
True, and that's something I've noticed for Siege for a while. Like the more operators they started to make, the more they kind of started delving into the realms of not necessarily realism anymore, and kind of just not necessarily making things that are completely fictional and that don't make any sense, things that are still grounded in reality, but things that they might take a bit more license with when they're making an operator. But when you have an operator like Thatcher, there's not really much you can make that functions similar to it. You've got Callie who can shoot her lances on the wall, and that takes care of specific wall denial, but it doesn't really, deal with much else beyond that. It can burn ADSs, can destroy Maestra, can destroy Evil Eyes and shields and things like that. But again, it doesn't really function as effectively as Thatcher's does. But if I were in Ubisoft's shoes, I mean, what else can I really develop? Like aside from just making something completely up out of the blue, you might add a secondary like EMP gadget, but again, that's a problem. Thatcher is so unique in his role that even though we have someone similar, he's still the main go-to person for getting that job done, for clearing out electronics.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up kind of the steel wave operators. Yeah, because Callie and Wamai were pretty much the first operators I would say designed to really try to specifically knock back the play rate of another operator. Wamai serves essentially as another form of Jaeger, trying to knock down his rate or his play rate. But even then, you just used the two together and it
Yeah.
became an even bigger meta shift. But Callie's a different case because she was designed to be not like almost a pseudo replacement for Thatcher in the terms of, she can do the same exact thing as Thatcher at a much lower scale. But the issue with her, it comes down to her primary. I mean, you have to use her
Yeah.
to an extent, her op in a game where the op doesn't really work
Yeah.
as well as you would hope it does. And it puts her in a really weird spot because she's either a huge mainstay for a team or she's quite literally never seen an entire play day
Yeah, it's kind
from
of
anybody.
the complete opposite of Wamai and Jaeger, where they added Wamai to make him a substitute to Jaeger, but instead they just got played together. But now you see Thatcher and Callie in the game, and well, Thatcher gets banned a lot, so you never really have the opportunity to see them both get brought. But even when he goes unbanned, you never really see Thatcher and Callie get brought. You just see Thatcher get brought because if Thatcher's in play, you don't really have a reason to play Callie. And that might be good. Well, it's a bit unfortunate that the operator they made isn't getting that much play. That was meant to be, this instrumental change to the meta of Siege, but it only comes out when Thatcher is banned. And, once he's on the board, her play just completely shrinks. And as you said, with her sniper, it's kind of hard to really function around that. Siege isn't a game that is exactly conducive for that high octane style of play that well, certainly used to see from the AWP and CSGO. Now it's a bit more played back, but it's still pretty fast pace in terms of snipers. Adding her SPS MG9 certainly helped, but yeah, Callie's place in the metas it's just kind of a bit of a yikes. Also, as Carpe put in chat, we are dealing with a delay at the moment. I believe somebody's having a problem updating Siege.
Yep. So we are
So
getting a substitute going in. So that'll be interesting to see how that's going to affect All4One. Keep in mind already, All4One is in the losing seat, I suppose, between this and
yeah,
Dojo because they don't have that 1 point on the board. Dojo is the winner right now between the two teams, and you're bringing a substitute already.
yeah, that's
That
gotta hurt.
could be a huge chemistry shift for All4One. And if they can't jive with that chemistry, this could be a really big loss for them.
But to be fair, again, Keg and I both casted the rivals on Monday, so we're just bringing so many connections back to that. On Monday, Unreal Nightmare, the current first place team in ESA Rivals, played with a sub for the entire game. Their hard support was not able to play the match, and I believe they ended up winning the game 2-0. I believe is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah. So that goes to show that as long as you practiced a bit with your sub, you can still make plays and you can still win matches. So, hey, maybe All4One, maybe they're bringing in a sub that they have scrimmed with before and that they still have some chemistry with that also knows the role he's going to be playing. And maybe it won't be so much of a stomp. But again, as you said, All4One, they're currently tied for last with Dynasty at the bottom of the leaderboard for ESA contenders, and bringing in a sub, I don't see that same event or that same scenario that Unreal Nightmare had. I don't see that same thing happening for All4One.
The only saving grace I would say for All4One is now, I personally don't have the information of which players being subbed out or what their role is on the team, but that could be a huge difference. If it's your entry fragger, your primary entry being subbed out for somebody else, that could be gigantic. Either they play much better than the primary on your team, or they play a lot worse. That could really change things up. And the same could be said for the support as well. like you mentioned, we had seen Wasted Potential swap out for Die as the substitute on Monday, and it worked really well, like unbelievably well for their team because he was able to coordinate pretty much every single, you
Mhm.
know, 2v1
Yeah.
situation or 2vx situation so well. But All for One needs to have that same exact coordination and chemistry across the board with all their teammates, or they're gonna fall apart.
Yeah, well, you made a really good point. It's a lot easier if you have a sub to slide him into a support role than it is to slide him into a fragger role. Fraggers are a lot more impactful, but a support, I mean, I hope at this level of siege, pretty much everyone can drone efficiently or for the most part up to an adequate level. If you can't, then All for One are going to have a lot bigger issues at their hand with the sub than we initially thought. But it looks like that we finally got the sub in the game. Again, we're not sure who he's replacing, but we should be able to get the game started momentarily. But yeah, I don't think All for One are going to have a good time depending on the role he fills. If it's support, could go fine. If it's a fragger, this is probably going to be a 2-0.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that sentiment. We're gonna figure out what Q Fnatic can bring to the table. I think he's gonna be the one we're gonna have to watch out
Yeah.
for the most on this team, for better or worse. And we are gonna be starting the map. Now, again, our my favorite part at the very least is gonna be the operator bans. And again, having a substitute can really change a whole lot. For all we know, and we don't have this information, maybe we'll find out if they do win overall. Maybe we can ask in the interview is will bringing Q Fnatic as your substitute change the operator bans as well? Because all the players are human. Some players are just not able to deal with certain operators for or against them. And so that could be a change within itself.
Yeah, and I'm sure All for One were initially going to do an Ash ban, but Q Fnatic, who's probably an Ash main, is going to have a real tough time if that were the case. So probably keep that one in the cards, and instead Dojo, not All for One's ban, but they'll ban the Mavericks starting out, and no real surprise there. We talked about it extensively during, the very long intro segment we had, but Mav is a pretty standard ban for Clubhouse. Nothing all that surprising there. If we see a Thatcher, then it really will be the most standard of standard Clubhouse bans. We'll see what All for One have in mind. And it will be the
Thatcher.
Thatcher. There we go.
Wow.
Nothing
Never saw
crazy tonight, boys.
Never saw that one coming. Well, it's interesting though, because the Maverick being banned means we won't see those three hard breach combos that we saw a lot on Monday. So that means that last attacker slot could be a lot of different options, like your favorite Capital. But ban number 3, the first one on defense, is going to be the Echo ban. Again, nothing really too surprising. This is like the vanilla ice cream of all bans. But, it does happen. And if it works well for the teams, that they have to pick what's comfortable for them.
Certainly, we'll have final ban coming out. Thatcher being banned, Kate will be extremely strong this
Mm,
matchup unless they decide to bring a Kali. So that'd
Valkyrie.
be a smart brand for Dojo. Instead, it'll be the Mira. Talked about last match that Mira has not been banned as frequently, and this match will not follow that trend, and she'll be the final ban that Dojo brings out. That means that operators like Valkyrie and Maestro will still be on the board, and that Kayad that we talked about so extensively in the intro segment and even during this ban phase.
Absolutely. The Kaid is probably going to come out right away.
I'd guess, yeah.
Oh no, but it looks like we're having a little bit more technical difficulties. This time going to be on Dojo's side. But hey, you know what? It does happen. It's a little late at night, so sometimes the interwebs can be a little finicky at times. But if it is anything to go by, QFinite does seem to be a much more aggressive role than the
Ooh,
supporting role,
he is on the
rocking the
Ash.
Ash. Yeah, so
That was a joke I said. That was a joke I made. I didn't actually mean that. He might be tuned into the clean feed and he just knows what I'm thinking right now. So yeah, I believe player had a black screen that now we are having a rehost. I remember Keg and I were like, yeah, match is starting at 9:30. Might get done before 11 tonight or before 12 tonight. And so far it's looking like rehost city if we're already having one before the round even starts. So yeah, this is something. That's to say the
well,
least.
it does happen. Uh Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to start at 9:30. It's about 24 minutes past that, but you know what? It does happen, and we did get a glimpse at the operators on both sides. So I didn't they were not locked, keep that in mind, but it does give us a little bit of a taste of what each player does want to bring out. And we can see the attacker lineup here as well. It's mostly going to be one hard breacher and mostly soft breach and just pure fragging potential, especially with Q Fnatic on that Ash. But overall, not really too surprising both ways when it comes to the defenders and the attackers. But I'm curious to see, and I know this is a huge favorite of yours, Lynx, is that the Capital was brought out before it being locked.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious for me sometimes. Like Capitał's super strong, and he'll go unbanned, and the teams just won't play him. I mean, like I understand, like there are certain lineups where it's like, okay, you can get by without a Capital. Like if you have a site that's heavy on vertical play, okay, sure, maybe you want to instead of a Capital, maybe you want to bring an IQ. All right, you know what? That's fine. I'm okay with that. But on a map like Clubhouse, Capital is so useful for clearing out pretty much any site, especially the two main ones, basement and CCTV and cache. You'll often see Capital uses firebolts to clear a player playing in rafters, whether it be a Doc with an ACOG or a Wamai with a shield. And he's also useful for firebolting people out of blue on basement. And his smoke bolts are, come on, they're always useful for setting up an execute no matter what map or site you're on. So All4One being I believe they are the team on attack. Yeah, they were. Bringing him out the very first, I have some good feelings going into the match that we'll see some solid Capital play going in.
Yeah, I think we will see some solid Capital coming out as well. But when it comes to the Wamai pick, though, you got to keep in mind Wamai is on the board
That's
as
true.
well, and that could be a huge pain in any Capitals behind. It does happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we've seen some teams, they've struggled at clearing out all that utility, those magnets and those ADSs. And those magnets specifically, while Capital's bolts can fly right past the Jaeger ADS, a magnet will snatch it right out of the air. If we see teams that fail to clear out those magnets effectively, we might see a firebolt or smoke bolt or two get caught in midair and be taken down. But of course, that is totally reliant on All4One's play. Again, they haven't had the best showing in ESA so far, but it's been a week since they've played. A week is still a fair amount of time to learn and make some adjustments in your play. We might see some coordination come out and see that coordinated play that's necessary for dealing with that utility, those ADSs, those magnets, and see Capital and the attack in general have a huge effect.
I know, and with all that being said, I'm surprised we have seen Capital so little, all things considered. Now, keep in mind, before we had Cafe in Oregon, it does make sense that we wouldn't see as much Capital on Oregon, especially with all the Y playing being so
Mhm.
heavily inspired. But when it comes to Bar, I'm a little surprised at times because usually when it comes to Cigar, we do see the Wamai, but we didn't see that at all or maybe even just once. We didn't see that really at all when it came to Cafe on either side last game, but though Capital would have been a great pick minus those ADSs.
A- Absolutely. Capital would have been a stellar pick. Well, we can add that to the list of cafe operators that should have been seen. We have the Thatcher, now we have the Capital that probably should have gotten brought out. But I mean, to be fair, that the operator lineup on Cafe was pretty solid. It's what happens when you mix words sometimes. They just don't come out properly. It's like Keg with Oregon. But we saw operators come out, Sledge, IQ, Zofia. Those are all operators that were necessary for that lineup, and that served an overall purpose. But going into this map, well, as you said, he's in play. That's going to be a major factor. And I'm kind of glad. This is a bit of a non sequitur, but I'm kind of glad we're not saying that triple hard breach. Like Maverick getting banned, sure, it's generic, but I was losing my mind last week. It was making me not able to speak at certain points. I'm like, it's not working. Just don't. I mean, it did work. It did work a few rounds, and I was put in my place because it did serve a point. But I'm kind of glad that Maverick is banned, so we don't have to see that for a second day in a row.
So I don't know if it makes a difference, but I'm a born and raised New Englander. Are you
I am interested to see where this is going.
are you sure it's not Oregon? Like the
Okay.
Oregon Trail, like the state? Are you
Okay. So yeah, like I don't I don't like think. No. Now you're older than me, Keg. You're older than me.
I
You're
am, yes.
21. I'm 18. I'm
Oh
also
god.
I'm a youngin, but I do
I'm
believe it
young
is
too.
Oregon. I would bet money that it's Oregon. I'm like 98% sure. Carp's even saying in my ear right now that it's Oregon. You're 2v1 right now. I don't think you're on this.
It's more than a 2v1. Not a single person has defended me in saying it's Oregon. Have I been saying it wrong my entire life?
Yes, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but yes, yeah. So, I mean,
Oh, is it?
you know what? You're wrong
Oh.
sometimes.
Well, but so okay. It's come to the point now where I'm drilling in my head. Like I'll be in the shower, I'll be like Oregon, Oregon, Oregon. I'm starting to write it
You're
down
like
as Oregon. instead of Oregon.
You're like Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of The Aviator. Like, I don't spoiler for The Aviator, by the way. It's like a 17-year-old movie, but if you haven't seen it,
Nobody's
turn
seen
off
The
the stream
Aviator.
now. What do you mean nobody's seen Aviator is a great movie. You need to watch that. Leonardo DiCaprio is Howard. Great. At the end of the movie, he keeps saying the way, the future, like over and over again, because he has crippling OCD in the movie. It's like you with Oregon in the shower. You're just like, Oregon, Oregon, Oregon.
Oh man, I've never seen The Aviator.
You should. Aviator's a good movie.
I think when it comes down to it, I just have not seen a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio movies. I don't even know why. Um,
Aviator's the one. Are we on stream right now?
yeah,
Are we still
we
on
are.
stream? Okay.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
still on stream. We're talking to the producer right now.
Carp keeps trying to have a conversation in our ear right now, and I'm like, do I respond to Carp and look weird to like nothing that's been said? Come on up here. Y'all, none of you can hear what's going on right now. By the way, so in a strange turn of events, we now have All4One in the game, but we're waiting on Dojo's 5th player to get in the match now.
So let's expand on that a little bit. Dojo, I don't remember
Let's
whose
build
monitor.
on. Let's build on top of
Riptide's
that.
monitor. Riptide's monitor died.
Oh boy, Carp's coming. Y'all bet. It's like.
Hello, you can all hear me. So, to clarify what happened, because y'all have been sitting here for 30 minutes, like, where's our match?
Oh, dude, it's been 30 minutes.
Yeah. So, first what ended up happening is one of All4One's players was getting an update glitch, where it was getting about halfway and then dying. They were troubleshooting for about 30 minutes. In the end, ultimately, they couldn't get it. They were bringing on a sub with the admin's approval, the other team's approval, that they are planning on bringing on next week. Due to our rules, one addition/change per week, they didn't have them on the roster yet, but since it was a planned move, admin was okay with it, mainly just so we can get the match rolling. Then get into the match, we do the bans, y'all saw that. One of Dojo's players' monitor just went black, so they called a rehost, technical rehost. They're working on fixing it. They did get it fixed. He's supposed to be joining any second now. I think we're waiting. I'm going to go.
Oh, jeez, you're right. Kegs and OBS Ninja really did die. Man's on like 1 pixel right now on his webcam.
What?
Yeah, dude, like your colors are inverted. It's wild. Mine looks fine. Dude, mine looks fine. Dude, I look so good. I'm on the cap.
We're literally about to get into it like 10 seconds, basically.
Yeah. You guys are just have to deal with me being inverted.
And, sorry, getting ours, and you won't see any graphics because the graphics so we have like a web browser based graphics thing that is down, so we won't have any overlays for any of the matches. I have a couple scenes that are saved, so you'll basically see the starting scene, you'll see the caster's face, and that's about it. It may come up in the meantime, but as of right now, you get nothing. Unfortunately, it's
we appreciate you guys watching though, because the world is ending outside, and all of you are missing it. Like the power grid's going down. It's over.
Have a nice evening. I'm going away. You'll never hear from me again.
Well, that was the most interesting pre-show I have ever been a part of.
Yeah,
but we're finally in the game again. It does take the cake, and that was interesting, and I don't know why OBS Ninja died, but you know what? Things do happen.
It fixed
it's a snowball effect.
Fixed itself.
Oh, beautiful. It's a snowball effect. It's kind of like when you have a bunch of 1v3 situations turning into a 1v1. We've seen it happen last set, and we might see it happen again, but it looks like, again, like we were talking about before, a Q Fnatic sticking with the Ash pick. Now, to your dismay, Lynx, unfortunately, it's going to be Og who goes from the Capital to the Thermite in the 6th pick, but interestingly, the Bandit on Riptide goes to a Vigil.
I mean, you know what? It's a Capital 6 pick to a Thermite. I'll allow it. I'm okay with it. Like, you still have an Ashe, a Zofia. They're not bringing a Jaeger over. Oh no, Keg. Keg. It's T3's favorite. It's the SSG realm. You know what? I'm just surprised it took this long to see it. I'm just surprised it took this long to see an SSG realm. For those of you who are unaware, on Clubhouse Basement, if you see a Castle, a Mozzie, and a Vigil, but at the very least a Castle and a Mozzie, and a Mute as well, that's something called the SSG realm, named after the Team Space Station Gaming, who famously popularized this realm around the time of the Inquisition. I know, crazy. It's like, whoa, who else would that be? But, so yeah, you see the castle is castling off main door right now, and pool door as well. And with the hatch open, That's the characteristic of an SSG roam. Usually you'll see the mutes and Mozzie's placed upstairs, and the whole point of the attack is to waste as much time and utility as possible. And the lineup is meant for it. You have the pests, mute jammers, castle barricades, Riptide on the ERC will make it an incredibly painful time droning. And all of that combined is why the SSG roam is so popular. It's because it's so effective and it wastes time, but it doesn't matter because the main counter for an SSG roam is a rush down blue or dirt, which is exactly what Mob is doing right now because nobody reinforced dirt wall. It's completely soft. Arcturus will trigger a goo mine down an oil pit. He'll be notified, and Mob, he's prepping to sledge that door. He's got Diffuser right behind him. Thermite Og, he's ready. It'll break open, but no, nobody's rushing quite yet. They'll pull back. They'll pull back just a little bit. Got the prone angle from Mob. Try and get a kill on Legion. Keeping up above second box. Ash will also make a play down blue. Zofia right behind her. Legion, he's stuck behind Generator with John close behind to provide any support, and that is John the Castle be taken out first. Christo the second on the Legion. He gets taken out just behind Riptide. He's rotated down to Moto, and Momo with a bit of a shoddy recoil control on that SMG-11 manages to get a kill on the Hibana, but it's only a minute 50 and already 2 defenders are taken down. All4One, they've made such a great sticking point in this round, and he's about to stick that diffuser on top of that by Gunrack. Now, one more will be taken out. Fnatic takes out Doofus. Mob also downs the smoke, and Riptide, it's taken out just shortly behind the rest of the pack. All4One with the rush down dirt and blue take the first round, and we won't see much of that SSG realm.
I mean, the SSG roam is called the SSG roam for a reason. It really only works with SSG. A lot of other teams like to emulate it, but, you know, I heard somewhere, I don't remember which cast it was, explaining how people like to emulate it, but they don't really understand the full intricacies of why it works. And that's the big issue when it comes to something that you're blatantly copying from another team, is that you're not putting your own flavor onto it. And so when you're just, you know, copy and pasting someone else's strategy, you're not really implementing it to your own strategic advantage. So when it comes down to it, if you just have a template of what other people want to do, the other team is going to take advantage of it. And that's exactly what we just saw for All4One. They took full advantage of the situation without really much of a resistance going forwards. And I mean, by now it's been so overdone that teams know exactly how to combat the SSG roam.
And also, it's a bit curious. I mean, sure, rush through dirt and blue, that's how you counter an SSG roam. But the fact that it was soft, that shows greater concerns for me for Dojo's defense. I mean, the reinforcements in dirt, there's only 2 of them, and there's no situation where you don't get those reinforcements. You always reinforce dirt, because that exact situation could happen. Dirt is literally a direct hallway from the outside attack respawn to the bomb site, and not reinforcing it, it gave 2 attackers complete free reign. Sure, there was a castle to stop it, but again, they took complete control of dirt, and nobody was there to stop them. Now, going into this round, we will see the Mozzie and the Mute still brought out. The Riptide will switch from the Vigil to the Bandit, and John will switch from the Castle to the Wamai. We'll likely see maybe a shield on top of Garage Raptors, and instead of the Wamai, it'll be Christo on that Maestro playing on Garage Raptors. And now that could be a tricky position if he gets frag grenaded out. That key useful operator for those Evil Eyes will be taken out, but so far, it's not looking all too crazy of a defense coming out from Dojo.
Now, I'm curious to see what goes on with that Mozzie at the bottom. Doofus had a C4 prepped and even thrown, but decided to take it back, and probably for the best. I don't really think that would be a good situation for him to use that. But right now, we're seeing the attack kind of going in a 2 different prong maneuver. It's either going to be atop of SSG, atop of CCTV wall, or no, not even. It's going to be finding out and not even looking down. That ACOG, the bottom of the scope, got in the way. Doofus takes down Arcturus, and that's going to be your Hibana off the board. Rest in peace, one of your hard breachers. You only have 1 left alive. And you can see that other hard breacher being Og L right now, struggling a lot to figure out what to do next. Now, Springful can go underneath in the stock room and try to open it up with her concussion grenade to take down the bandit charges. That's all you can really do at that point. It looks like, nope, Thermite wants to go for it, and it's a little too ill-prepared, but still trying to go for it, taking a lot of damage. It's going to be Doofus, though, who finds a double kill onto another operator, and that's going to be Christo, who finds one onto Mob as well. This is not looking good for All4One. Round 1 may have been a fluke in Dojo's disadvantage, and they're really bringing it back right now. It's down to Q Fnatic, the substitute, and Og L to be the last ones alive.
Momo getting a bit aggressive behind that construction wall. He certainly does not have to peek that. So Dojo are showing that they're not exactly playing flawlessly at the moment. He comes away with his life, won't give away an easy kill, and Q Fnatic, he might give away an easy kill, and no, he won't. Walks right into the crosshairs of Q Fnatic, and there goes the mute taken down, but it's still a 2v4 that All4One finds themselves in. Q Fnatic, the sub, has 3 kills so far, but the Bandits rotated to try and Bandit trick that construction wall, and he will succeed. Doofus picks up 1 more kill for good measure, and now it is just the sub left in a 1v4. Doofus is on low HP, could get killed by the Ashe, and he'll be downed instead of getting finished off. The Ashe will rotate to finish off that Mozzie, but it's only 35 seconds left. You don't have a lot of time. As soon as they find the Mozzie down, be able to finish him off and pad his stats a bit further, but he's just prolonging the inevitable at that point. Tries to get the hip fire kill, will miss the first bullet, and it'll have to be an ace clutch. And I would, if I were Q Fnatic, I would take some time. I would just try, figure out what you guys should do next round. Clearly, you lost the plot on what you should do this one, so try and better repair your mistakes for next time. You won't be able to attack CC again, as Dojo will win it, but you can focus on some more of your main problems. Maybe it's flank watch or droning, and there we go. Q Fnatic rushes in construction door, won't find a single one beyond the first 2. And Dojo, they answer back, evening in at 1-1.
Yeah, not really too much you can do at Q Fnatic's position at the end of there. But to be fair, as a substitute, he is crushing it so far. 3 rounds in, that was his first death on the board, and I believe he has a 4 kill or 4K pretty much on the board as well. And he's been doing a really good job, all things considered. Now, it's going to be, yeah, top leading into the game. More kills than the rest of his team combined so far. What a great opening play for the substitute. Now, again, it's one of those things that maybe the game would have gone very differently. We could have been seeing a 2-0 if it weren't for Q Fnatic. It's really hard to say, but in a different reality, we may know there. It's going to be John this time, though, who with the castle going to the defense.
Yeah,
Now,
6 pick. Oh, sorry. I was going to say 6 pick off the Cade to the castle. Cade actually would have been fairly useful, but what's going to be more useful, they need to reinforce those walls. Okay, I mean, that's the first thing that they need to fix going into this round.
Yes, absolutely. And with the castle on the board, it seems like they're going to do a little bit more than reinforce those walls. Interestingly, it looks like they're going to be completely neglecting dirt once again. This was a really big mistake that Dojo had made in the first round. They didn't reinforce any of dirt, and that was just easily opened by Mob on the sledge, and they opened up the castle as well. That led to a huge pinch inside of Service and Arsenal, and it just snowballed completely. All the attackers ignored the procs alarms inside Blue and Generator, and it pretty much served as no real defense in their way. So again, we're seeing the SSG roam. Okay, but like, it didn't work very well the first time, but they're gonna try it again because why not? And as predicted, Mob once again going to go down dirt completely uncontested. Now, interestingly, Riptide was in kitchen. He didn't go for the run out like I would have expected. It looks like he's almost retreating into strip club, which no, he's going to go back in the bar. So it's a much better play, and it's going to be Momo and the Mozzie upstairs as well. Riptide this time playing on the middle floor, which is something we didn't really see last time we had the SSG roam, and that might be a huge difference, especially on, say, Blue, where attackers may enter.
Maybe, but so far it's the same attack coming out from All4One. It's the same defense answered back. No real adjustments have been made. This might just be, you know, my reptile brain speaking that's less sophisticated, but if I'm not reinforcing dirt, I have a feeling that Mob and Og, who rushed it last time, will probably go for it again. I might even attempt an aggressive peek at kitchen, maybe catch one of them off guard, but again, that might just be my reptile ranked star brain getting the best of me. Reptile will rotate back to side, drop down Moto Hatch. Not much time wasted. Well, I guess a minute and 10 seconds, but really nothing all that crazy. Sprint picks up the first kill on John, and it's looking like the round might start repeating itself. Christo will spot the lead. I was about to say Christo will spot someone, but instead it's Arcturus who spots Christo, and what do you know, okay? The exact same thing is happening. Doofus has to rotate back, and it's a 2v5. They got a 1v5 on site. It's only Riptide. If they take out the Vigil before the rest of the operators come back, they can get this plan down, but they'll be getting it down anyway. Nobody can stop Arcturus. You'd think Dojo would have made some adjustments to any of their play, but they won't. Riptide gets taken out as well, and there goes Momo. Doofus, he C4s a wall, and he gets killed right through the hole he just made. Mob with that final kill seals off a flawless round for All4One on the back of 0 adjustments made by Dojo to their defensive strategy on basement.
The only strategy change they had made, I believe, now I could be wrong here, is that Riptide was playing on the middle floor, playing around bar, and again, not catching anybody out. It was the same exact attacking play, the same exact outcome. In fact, it was even worse this time because it was a flawless round in All4One's favor. That is not a good position to be in. And it looks like Doofus might be picking all the operators and maybe none of the operators all at once. Now, our reptile brains are kind of going right now because of it. But you know what? It does happen. I don't really understand why Dojo didn't change anything up. Not really sure what the comms are looking like on their end because of it. And again, we're seeing the same exact operator lineup from All4One side because of it. There's no reason for them to change it. Meanwhile, it looks like hypothetically we would be seeing a similar setup again, but Doofus is having a lot of struggles this time. Previously, it was Riptide who was having monitor struggles, but this time it's been transferred to Doofus. It's like a electronic virus.
It's something, that's for certain. That's the theme of this game so far. It's just, well, it's something. It's happening. It's certainly a game of Siege. It's I don't even know, man. Doofus, yeah, he's reconnecting right now, or I don't know if he's left or not. I'm not entirely sure which phase of it he's in, but we'll just have to see. TBD, Carp says. So who knows at this point? I'm looking at the camera. I'm not even on camera right now. Nobody knows what's going on. We'll just sit here for the long time. So, Keg, got any plans recently? You got anything going on in real life?
No.
Ah, there he goes.
Oh, there we go. Out of the quantum realm, he's finally back. It's going to be the Kaid pick from Doofus onto Gym and Bedroom, and that's a really good pick. You can get Jacuzzi Wall, and you can probably get Bathroom Wall while you're at it, or you can Kaid trick if that's what All4One wants to do. Again, when it comes to the plans, no, not really. I'm moving in about a month, which is really nice, but everything is pretty much tentative or, you know, locked behind NDAs. But all the fun stuff like that, I'm excited to see how not only life is going to go, but also this 1-2 right now, surprisingly, going against Dojo.
I'm like 98% sure that Kayad might have been a random pick, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll just see. But anyway, he's on the operator now. I'm glad you're moving. Glad you're moving up in the world. Let's get some pog in the chat for my boy Keg. My boy Keg moving up in the world.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, while many people change their station in life, one thing can always be consistent. It's how you hold Gym Bedroom. We have John on the castle, putting castles, and all the usual suspects are in play. You got one on Gym Door, and one on Gym Window. Ooh, no, actually not one on Gym Door. Got one on Master Bedroom Window, one on Construction Window. Ooh, they haven't even castled off Gym. What do I know? It's gonna be castling off that CCTV cache door. I've actually seen this before, and personally, I'm not a big fan of it. It wastes some utility, but the whole point of that CCTV cache is they're going to get pushed out eventually, and sure, it wastes some utility, but they're going to waste it no matter what. I don't know. In my opinion, you're just better off with a barricade there. Either way, it's a standard hold. You got some people playing in cache, and Riptide, he's the lone operator playing off of that second floor. He's playing down below in main lobby at the moment. Could potentially go up for a red stairs flank. He'll meet Arcturus' crosshairs if he decides to do so. But the attackers have now made their way inside of CCTV cache. Plat wall opens, or plat wall being opened means they have plenty of to stretch their legs and try and push these defenders out of cache.
Yeah, very, very curious defending strategy going out once again. It's going to be a majority of the team inside CCTV, and like you said, they're going to get pushed out very soon. Frag grenades, I'm sorry, not frag grenades, flashbangs, Sophia concussions, everything in seemingly nothing at the same time going out and connecting. It's going to be the majority of the defense trying to hold it down, but it's going to be a team kill, actually. Interestingly, Arcturus does take down Christo, but at the cost of Arcturus as well. So far on the attack inside, Arcturus has not had a good day, but it's also going to be Momo who finds Spring Follow, and you're losing out two of your biggest operators on the board. C4's going to go down. Unfortunately, not going to connect. That's going to be Q Fnatic losing half of his HP, actually a little bit more than half, but even then, not the best situation to be in. Now, your attackers are not doing too well. You have the man disadvantage, and you still need to push up. We haven't seen too much resistance on the ways of Jacuzzi just yet. Gym and Bedroom does have a little bit of resistance, but it's going to be, I believe, Og firing a few shots outside, but really the defenders are doing a great job holding it down. Of course, as I say that, Q9 does find Doofus. That's going to be the Kai going down and your Legion going down as well. Now, all the defenders you want to keep alive, the Legion and Kite are the last ones that should go down. That makes the defense a little bit scarier because you're down to just the UMP SMG-11 and, of course, either of the primaries or secondaries of Jaeger's gun.
Almost going for a bold strategy outside construction door right now. We'll see if it pays off. John goes for an aggressive peek on master bedroom window, and it won't pay off. He'll lose a lot of HP. But how do you miss those shots? Momo gets away with almost highway robbery, but he gets taken out for good measure. Mob takes out John, and now it's just Riptide left in a 1v3. But all the attackers are left on low HP. He picks up one. That's Mob. That's the Sledge. But now you've Q Fnatic and Og. Both have been fragging pretty well for entries and supports, respectively. Try and bait out the plant. Now I think he's going to stick it. Riptide, he's got to kill the coverage. And he kills the planter, but it is the coverage to finally get the Jaeger. And it looked a bit shaky with that team kill, but Q Fnatic will seal out that round for All4One.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about this last round.
Yeah, a few.
So the majority of the team ended the prep phase being all inside CCTV, minus Riptide, the Jaeger down in Blown Bar. That is weird in and of itself, and it looked like that for a little bit they were going to play that retake game, but the majority of them wanted to find some resistance against the attackers when they opened up CCTV, because that's inevitable. Now, my main question is, why did they not push back in time, or for a while? And now my second question, my follow-up question to that is, if they were going to go for Gym and Bedroom before, and Doofus, that Kaid pick did end up being a random pick, my question is, what would have the original operator been? Because honestly, I think Kaid would have been the perfect choice regardless.
Yeah, Kaid, he compounds that hard breach denial coming out from Momo. Maybe it was a bit redundant based on the hold they had. It didn't seem like he was entirely necessary, but as we saw, the Kaid charges were used on those CCTV and cache walls, and it certainly wasted quite a bit of time for All4One. So hey, if it was a random pick, good luck, and maybe in the future they might look into bringing a Kaid for that site if that wasn't the intentional pick. But moving on to CCTV and cache right now, they held it a lot last round, and it'll be their main focus this round. Lineup looking so far pretty much exactly the same. We'll probably be seeing Cristo play on top of those garage rafters, but also important to note, this is the only site that Dojo has won so far. They played it in the second round, they won it, but both times they've tried basement, lost. Just tried to play Gym, also lost. And I don't exactly remember the statistics at which they won, but it was also on the back of a lot of successful bandit tricking by Riptide on main wall and on construction wall. So if he continues that same style of play and his bandit tricking goes unpunished, combined with the roam from Doofus, which was also extremely proficient last time, maybe Dojo can pull this round back, but they're going to have to start looking beyond to get these rounds in.
Yeah, so far this has been the only site on Clubhouse that Dojo has won, and it was by a considerable margin, I would say. It wasn't really close to a 1v1 in the very end, but they did win by a substantial amount, and they need to replicate that again. If they can't do it this game, this might be a secured first half for All4One, but right now it's kind of a back and forth. Spring is not having a best game right now. Well, my magnet is going to be, interestingly, at the end of garage storage, and it's going to throw him off a little bit, and that's going to be Arcturus find Doofus, but Cristo claps back and finds Q Fnatic. Now that's a huge opening pick against Dojo, against All4One, because Q Fnatic has been the top fragger so far. Of course, as I say that, Spring Polo and Arcturus goes down. Well, Arcturus mostly, but he's been having a lot of damage. Now, there's a lot of vertical play going on at garage storage, and it's not looking like it's going to go in the favor of All4One. A minute and 38 left on the clock, and only you've lost your Mozzie. Now, they know exactly, well, approximately where the head of that Maestro is, but it's not going to be Og that wants to go for it. They need to think of a new avenue of how they want to go forward. But it's going to be Riptide who finds Mob's head. He's trying to crawl on by, go unnoticed, solid snake style, but he gets spotted out. Arcturus barely left alive, and it's Og, the last one alive on the attacking team with any semblance of health. Going to be pushing both seldomly by themselves, completely singular in 1v4 situations. Keep in mind, it's CCTV. You don't want to place this by yourself, but you take down one. It gets going.
What is going on right now? They just walked past each other.
What?
That
3v1. Huh? Okay. Oh, Dojo's still one.
I gotta take a walk after that one, dude. Hold up.
Yeah, very interesting plays going around between both teams. Definitely the technical issues beforehand have kind of thrown them both off.
This game is cursed. Templar's right. This game is just absolutely cursed in every way, shape, and form. So the attack from All4One, it didn't look great, to say the least. Didn't look great. My first point of confusion, you had a couple questions. I have points of confusion this round. My first point of confusion. you have Zofia, Sprinfololo, sitting inside on top of blue. He's trying to Zofia the floor below Riptide so he can't bandit trick. He shoots 2 concussions to get caught by magnets. Okay, that's fine, right? But the problem is Arcturus was in stock and lobby/bar was clear. If they had droned that, which I assume you do if you're taking stock, you normally drone bar, he could have just shot the Wamais, but instead they burned them with concussions. And while I'm sure utility was not the main reason All4One lost that round, burning utility unnecessarily in the meta we're in right now can make or break an attack for teams if it comes down to that. So already that's a bit concerning that the coordination for All4One, despite their 3 attacking wins, aren't exactly on point. And then, I mean, we could just go for on and on for that. The frag grenade getting peeked by the bandit on rafters right in front of plat wall. I mean, that round was just a mess on both sides.
Definitely a big point of contention for why All4One did not win that round as well, is that Q Fnatic was the first one to go down on All4One's side. He's currently going 8-2 right now, which is well beyond the means of any other player in this game. And with them going down immediately, that was a really big blunder, because I felt like once Q Fnatic went down, they didn't have that really big aggressive potential, and it really threw off their attack or whatever they had planned. And we do see the Valkyrie going down. Not really so hidden Valkyrie Black Eyes that we see at the bottom of the stairs. Otherwise, we do have Doofus playing inside Strip Club. Now, this is usually an indicator of a run out, and Doofus is in prime condition to do so against the 2 hard breachers. Now, if he does manage to do so and connect it, at least with Hibana, that could be really big about stalling out or at least denying a kitchen push. But it seems like they're also trying to slowly go forwards and find him as well. They have an idea that maybe there is someone inside Strip Club, or at least a part of the map no one ever really goes to, and that's why the drones are going out.
Hopefully, but I mean, so far, I wouldn't be surprised if All4One just doesn't drone Strip. The coordination hasn't looked the best, but thankfully, Dojo's not doing an SSG roam anymore, because clearly it hasn't worked out the previous 2 times they did it. Lineup is starkly different than the one we saw previously. It's the only... No, actually, yeah, it's completely different operators for the most part, I believe. And yeah. So they got the Pulse, the Valkyrie C4s from below, and Q Fnatic will take out the Kites. That's the last C4 on Dojo's side, taken off the board immediately. His Electric Claws will still be on the hatches, and John's head is now taken off of his body. Q Fnatic removes it inside of blue, and what do we know? It's a basement defense where Dojo are in the man deficit. It's surely not as quick as the previous rounds, but the end is just as quick as those previous rounds. Sprinfololo picks up 2 kills. Duva's got a refrag in between him, but he's off-site left in a 1v4. Og will have no problem getting the plant down, and one inside a kitchen. We'll see the Jaeger. And All4One, they finish this half on their clubhouse attack at a 4-2 scoreline.
Definitely living in topsy-turvy town right now. Keep in mind, Dojo is a point ahead over All4One. All4One currently has 0 points in the standings for ESA contenders, and they're doing a really good job. Now, if we want to take a look at the scoreboard once again, you got to keep in mind, we're going into this first half. We're going to the first round of the second half. It's a 4-2 split, but that goes in the favors of the attackers previously, so the defenders only need to get a few more rounds. Now, the reason why I asked to bring the scoreboard up was that Q Fnatic currently right now is 10-2 with a 5 KD. You don't need to do crazy math to realize that is absolute insanity for this level of play. And another point I want to bring up is that John is running the Kali, Thatcher's band, and we did make a huge fuss about it and how the Lances are kind of an EMP replacement when Thatcher's banned.
Yeah, Kali being brought out, that's not surprising, but actually, I'm going back and forth on my head whether I want to call it surprising. I'll sit on the fence. I'll say it's surprising for Clubhouse, but it's not surprising in the grand scheme of things. We don't often see teams bring Kali on Clubhouse, especially in North America and Europe. We might see it every now and then, but it's certainly not been a staple of play for a while. We saw it a lot in Latin America for a bit, but we're not playing in Latin America. We're playing in North America. The side is basement. Kali's not going to be very useful for this bomb site, especially because All4One aren't bringing the Cade. They're not going to be electroclawing any hatches, so maybe the Kali can maestro some things, or not maestro some things. I was going to say she could destroy some maestros, but there are no Evil Eyes up on the board as they didn't bring it. They have the Jaeger, Mozzie, Mute, Valkyrie, and Wamai. Nothing that the Lance is really useful for. So all John might be doing this match is holding some long angles and maybe getting some kills with the SBS and G9. But this isn't a great attacking lineup. They're missing a Sledge. They're missing any real dedicated soft breach. And All4One looked like in a great position just based off the operator lineup to continue their lead in this half.
Yeah, and judging from the pushing CCTV up in the beginning, it does seem like this initial attack lineup was meant for CCTV as a bomb
Yeah.
defense. Now it's Arcturus right now who's hiding in the desk. I'm curious to
Oh
see if they're going to
boy.
spot him out. The drones seem to have missed him so far, and it's going to be Momo
Oh
who's
no.
going forwards ahead. Now, if Momo goes in the logistics, this could be a very interesting pick overall, but no, and that's going to be Arcturus droned out. Momo is fully aware at this point, and now the Jaeger's in a very dangerous spot. If Momo just holds this angle for who knows how long this... Oh, no. Instead of he's going to aggress forwards. And is that going to be it? No. Yep.
Oh,
and
thank
there we go.
God.
Arcturus goes down. That's going to be Momo finding them. And that is going to be your... essentially your only roamer from the looks of it going down. Now, from here on out, you can do pretty much a whole bunch of things. You have your Hibana and your Thermite, and Black Eye is noticeable. So, very noticeable. And so from there, what you can do is open up pretty much all the hatches on the map, and you can also, if you get to that point, you can also open up the church wall as well, either from blue or from that small hallway. But right now, this is a great area for for Dojo to be in. There's nothing really to contest them at all on this map. Everyone else is playing directly onto the site.
Certainly, you have the Hibana on the board, but she's currently across the map, now just rotating above Moto. Instead, Doofus will use his Exothermic to open up the hatch, and Christo will continue to not use any of his X-Kairos, but he'll have a lot of his health taken down by a C4 from below. Not entirely sure who that was from. It could have been the Mute or the Mozzie, and it would be the Mute, because by process of elimination, we'll see he's missing a C4, and he'll try to eliminate the Thermite, but there goes that SPSMG9 from John. He takes out the Mute in exchange. And All4One, they're not looking in the same good position that I predicted they might be in early on in the match, but Dojo, two of their operators currently are on low HP. Christo and Doofus both having only about 30 to 35 HP between the two. Ooh, there goes Q Fnatic, opening up a hole in that wall to potentially toss a C4 to the back of Church. And there he goes, he lines it up. The question is, will he throw out a bomb from the top ropes? And it will land nothing as it got stuck on the wall. But Sprint Bolo picks up one kill, Momo with the refrag. Riptide follows in suit. And now it is just Q Fnatic left in a 1v4. He's got to go through 4 kills, 3 of which are on low HP. He's got 10 kills so far and a 5 KD. If anybody can do it, it's Q Fnatic. What's up? He gets the headshot on the one. That's the one with the most HP. Now, he's got the MPX. It's a peak shooter. He picks up one. Now it's a 1v2. This is completely doable. They've got the plant down. If they get the information that he's in the right corner, if they're tight right, he might be able to do this, but he's going back to the rotate. Sophia's watching the angle now. It just depends on whether or not they're able to land the crossfire, and they are. Thermite stops the attempt from Q Fnatic. Could have been a great clutch, but in the end, it'll be another round for Dojo. The first in a while for that new attacking team.
Q Fnatic is insane with
that
this
was so
aim.
doable. That was so close.
It's not often where we can say a 1v3 post-plant situation is completely doable. Now, it didn't work out for Q Fnatic. Don't get us wrong. But my God, was that close. All things considered, it was still ending with a 2v1, but that looked like it was really in Q's favor. Now, let's look at that scoreboard again. It's 12, so the scoreline isn't as bad as it was even a round ago. But still, that's going to be Q blowing everyone away, at least having double the kills of anybody else in the game so far. And it's going to be Doofus again, struggling a little bit with the random operator pick. And it's going to be looking like it's going to be loaded in as Twitch. We haven't quite seen that in the game yet, but it's going to be a Twitch pick. And there's a reason why we don't see Twitch too often. And I mean, there's a whole plethora of reasons. We discussed this a lot in the pre-show. And again, Twitch used to be really good, but not so much anymore. And while we wait for Doofus to load back in again, Twitch is not going to work out too well.
You know what? Calling. So Carp and Chat brought up a good point. He said we can see what you picked, and it's legal. Technically, he could get random picked ace. That is something that could happen. Like, theoretically, if he owns ace, he could get random picked ace, which would, I mean, I don't want to see it, but it would be kind of funny. It fit with the whole theme of the game of just this entire match being cursed. There was a match at the end of season 9. It was the Latin American relegations. I think the match, I don't know how long it went. It might have been like 5-6 hours because of rehosts. It was the final relegation match. I'm getting vibes like that from this match right now. But he will load in his Twitch, so no illegal operator today. And what's the site? Basement? So yeah, they're going back. It was a 1v4 by the end last time, and it would have taken an immense effort from Q Fnatic to pull that through. So they're gonna need to make some immense adjustments to try and bring that closer in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, overall, oh man, there needs to be a lot of adjustments across the board between both teams, I think. Dojo seems to be not, I don't want to say they're not taking this too seriously, but their beginning rounds on the defending side of the previous half was a lack of adapting, and it's not something we're really used to when it comes to Dojo. They have been shown in the past to really adapt on the fly and do super well, but they keep trying to employ these same exact strategies on their defending team that don't work out very well. Now, them on attack looked a lot better this time around, and they're only 1 point away from evening things out, which is a really good sign to see. But I'm really curious, Lynx, to see what Twitch can bring to this round. Because again, it was a random pick, and you have to adapt on the fly to see what you can bring with, I'm going to guess the F2. Yep, the F2 and your utility.
Certainly. We'll see if Doofus has been practicing his T-hunts on Twitch, if he's able to control that F2 recoil or not. It used to be a joke at how ridiculously strong and easy to use the F2 was, so Ubisoft did what they did best, and they nerfed the recoil for the F2. Now it's much harder to control, and Doofus getting random picked, he doesn't really have a choice in the matter, and while I personally like the 417, odds are you're going to be using the F2 on Twitch, and that, as we said earlier, that's what he has. So we'll see how much he's able to use it. Twitch was used to thought of to be the Thatcher substitute with her shock drone. So hey, maybe we'll see some great shock drone plays, but so far he's still upstairs with a mute on the board. It looks like he might not exactly have some extensive use with it. Riptide once more clearing above stock, and we see that same top-down clear Dojo employed last time. Arcturus won't be in a little rat corner hiding behind Logistics' desk this time, so Momo will have free reign to move down those main stairs and acquire kitchen control for the attackers. His team hasn't caught up so far, Riptide the closest behind, playing inside a bar, but since Doofus got auto-picked to Twitch, he wasn't able to bring any more soft destruction, and there you go, he just has a Claymore. But also importantly, Dojo haven't really been employing the sledge all that much. They haven't had too much soft destruction, maybe some breach charges here or there, but nothing that is nothing really powerful to get that done. But speaking of powerful, Sprint Fuller, he's in an aggressive position right now, and he takes out the Ash, but not the Zofia. She's in a great position for the refrag, and the aggressive play from the Legion will only end up costing him his life.
Absolutely, and you're going to lose down on the Ash, which has been shown on the attacking side previously to do a phenomenal job, but Momo's going to go down right away. Now, I'm glad you mentioned before about not bringing that sledge, because we haven't really seen too great of a soft breach utility when it comes to Church on Dojo's side. Now, it worked well for them last time, but they have the random pick of the Twitch this time, and again, you just can't bring that soft breach. But so far, they're making great headway onto the site. It's going to be the Zofia concussions going all the way down the long hallway into Arsenal, and that's going to make Og L rotate around. Now, it looks like it's going to be centered around a plant going towards Church once more. It's just a matter of finding that opening pit going into it. The flash grenades go down. It's going to be Cristo and pretty much the whole team that gets blinded out. And that's going to be Doofus going down. Cristo does find Mob as well, and it's going to be a 3v3 across the board right now. And it's just a straight-up gunfight. That's going to be John going down as well. Both one of your hard reaches are completely dead, and if you want to open up that church wall, you better do it now, Cristo, before it's too late. But instead, it looks like it's going to be ignored. They're going to keep going and rushing through blue, and they might pay the price. There's 10 seconds left, and that fuser's still not gone down, and there's ankles forward everywhere. But it's going to be off course. That misses pretty much all of their shots. Good timing up, holding on towards blue. Going to go for free fire, but it's going to be a back and forth into a 1v2, into All4One winning the round. Ogel getting the double kill on the last two survivors. Oh, a robot.
Keg has turned into a robot in that cast.
Yes, it was.
Dude, we're gonna get shut down. We're gonna get shut down. This game is not okay. The vibes in this game are not okay. All4One, hey, they pick up another round though. Good on them. Maybe it's just the first map. Maybe we'll have better luck the second map. Oregon be the next one, hopefully. Well, so unfortunately, Doofus's Twitch pick not working out. Wait, Keg, you okay? Are we all good?
Yeah, it was my Discord.
All right. Well, hey, he's back. That's all that matters. I'm just glad you're here. I'd be stuck casting by myself. Oryx 6 pick to the Pulse. Solid 6 pick. Oryx not all that useful since he got put in the previous operation, Operation Void Edge. Has been played a lot. Neither has Yana, and neither will be played during this round. It will be a CCTV cache defense being played by All4One, a site that I believe they have not played yet. No, it's been basement each time.
Yes, it has been church each time so
You're
far.
a robot again.
Here. Yep. Okay, well, all things considered, I'm sorry, I'm a robot, half robot, inside and out. But when it comes down to it, we have seen Shirt going forward so far. I'm watching the connection to Discord right now, keeps going up and down. There's nothing much I can do about it at the moment. But with that being said, we're seeing the Cali pick come out once more. Now, the lance will be perfect for this area, especially CCTV wall, because we did see a huge struggle in the first half with both teams on that CCTV wall. Now, there's the Kaid, so there won't be any bandit charges for the Zofia to concuss from below inside garage, but instead the lance will make things a little bit more straightforward. So let's keep an eye on John and see what they can bring out to this if they even go for it.
Certainly Cali might be the secret sauce they need. John, he's on the roof there. Normally, if we see a Cali anywhere on CCTV cache, they'll use the lance to open flat walls, and they'll sit all the way back in Narnia, getting a long angle into sight to make sure that nobody rotates in and peeks the people repelled outside on CCTV balcony. It's a split push. Momo, he's entered inside of Logi, and nobody's really playing down below. I say that, I'm a complete liar as Mob takes out Riptide the Zofia, and Dojo's roam clear will leave a lot to be desired. The Zofia being taken out alongside the Ash means that's most of your ADS and Wamai, or most of your utility burn, taken away with. Now, Wamai isn't on the board, but Jaeger certainly is, and Q Fnatic is no longer on the board as he gets taken out. Arturus will return the favor in kind with that C4. The Pulse will already use it. It's only a minute left, and or a minute into the round, I should say, and it's a 2v4 that Dojo finds himself in. All4One are in a great position to move to match point. You still have the Thermite and the Cali, both useful operators in terms of utility. Between them, they can probably get open a wall or two, and they have a minute 40 seconds to do it. Arcturus with the C4 on the board and Q Fnatic being dead means the only one they have to worry with is the one that's currently in the hands of Og-L on the Cade. John will look to make his way to drop down Logistics Hatch. Jufus will likely join him. It'd be suicide at this point to have a split push. Mob, he's just chilling down in basement. He's rotating up. And it's probably all but over for Dojo, unless they manage to pull out a miracle.
Yeah, miracles what they're going to need indeed. It's a 3v5 right now. It looks like we'll be going to match point after this round, but Jufus and John aren't the last one left. Now, keep in mind, you have Thermite, which is a small pick, but you also have your Kalki left alive as well. And I'm sure I'm roboting right now, but I apologize.
Oh, you are. Oh, you are. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. That could be the wall opening up going from construction. It looks like, I'm not sure if that completely went off or not. It doesn't show up on the spectator screen, so I'm not sure if that was canceled out or not. It was shot from below. Gotcha. Now
Speaking of shot from below.
Chorus taking down Jufus. A 1v4 and All4One secures it out. Give your Cali last left alive and gonna be taken down very accordingly. Yeah, bringing a Cali into CCTV can be a great idea, but unfortunately being the last one left alive in a 1v4 is not the ideal situation for Cali.
Well, the Cali pick, it's certainly not working out, to say the least. It's not doing all that Dojo is hoping it would do. And really, Dojo's attacking rounds are this exact same story. They're not exactly going the way they are. And it's not even close. They're at these immense man counts. They're at these great disadvantages just going in. I mean, and you saw the issue for yourselves. Jaeger, I don't remember the exact player playing. Oh, actually, I think it was Mob also, who's currently playing it now. Jaeger, he's just sitting inside stock right now. Sitting outside top blue. There's two attackers that are sitting on top of blue, and they're not able to clear them out. There was somebody at the window who probably could have at least held across or gotten the refrag, but it just went completely unanswered for the most part. And that's been Dojo's problem so far. They haven't been able to get a concise effort on these attacks, and they end up getting and losing their gunfights early on. And All4One are just able to either wait out the time or pick apart the remaining members. Going into Gym Bedroom, it's the one site that hasn't been played yet. It's also the only site that All4One hasn't won yet. It took them 2 tries to win Basement, but only 1 to win Cash. And if it takes 1 try to win Bedroom, well, this map will be over.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind, Dojo is 3 points behind right now. They need to win perfectly for pretty much the rest of the game until they can force overtime. But again, Gym and Bedroom, I mean, if the attacking spread hasn't worked out for Dojo so far, I'm a little hesitant about their attack right now. Now, we did see their defense be very interesting when it came to Gym and Bedroom in the first half. They mostly all played, and I mean almost every single defender played besides CCTV and slowly backed out. But it looks like we're not seeing the same setup as Dojo did for All4One. Now, playing a little bit more spread out, they're playing a little bit more orthodox, and it's working out well in their favor. Now, again, they're bringing out the Cali, which could be a good option or a really bad option, depending on how the attack wants to go down. From the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be the front of gym, as in the gym window, and jacuzzi as well. The Lance bringing out there is going to be what happens, yes, and that's going to be the Kai charge. Oh, I'm sorry, the bandit charge is going down, but it looks like it didn't work. Now it's going to work. That's going to be both bandits going down, opening up jacuzzi wall, and no one's there to contest it either. But it's going to be the C4 that goes down, and that's going to take out nobody, gets shot out.
Well,
robot.
You are a robot. You're in and out. It happens. Yep. It happens in phases. Sometimes you're normal. Sometimes you're not a real boy. It happens.
It's probably the weather.
It is probably the weather. It's like storming in half the U.S. right now. I don't know. I got a fan on. I don't know what's happening, man. Sprint Follow knows what's going on, though. He knows exactly where Momo is, and he blows him sky high. That's the Ash taken down. He's been the opening pick a few times so far, and it'll continue to be the case this time. Riptide answers back on Arcturus the Bandit, who's not doing his job upstairs. He's instead down below. Look at this rat angle from Q Fnatic. He's just chilling there. Also, speaking of chilling, Mob is currently just chilling inside of CCTV, not at all being taken out. They're not even have any facet of their attack taking out any of the roamers playing over there, and if they don't, that's going to be a major issue. John is giving the defenders a major issue right now as he takes out Og on the castle, and Riptide, he's got one more for their troubles. Slowly crouch walking up main stairs was the last time we saw the Zofia. Mama rotated in the side, try to get some free fires out over onto Jacuzzi wall, won't find any, but it'll be Q Fnatic to find one and to find another as well. Riptide got the refrag just before that, and it's a great shot from the Valkyrie, a double. As you just said, and it's a 2v2, a double on both sides in terms of remaining players. Q Fnatic gets taken down to low health by Cristo again, and he gets taken off the board. Now it's Riptide on 25 HP to try and make it work in this 1v2. And if he doesn't, All4One, well, they take the map. He's going to get shocked by the bandit charge. That's not the way you want to finish this off. Q Fnatic's on a prone angle. Won't even matter. Doesn't even have a chance to fight back. And All4One, they take the map. 7-3. Dojo's map pick, by the way.
Q Fnatic is an insane player.
He is. Dude just came in, and he's put all his cards on the table, that's for certain.
Absolute insanity. I believe that's going to be 16 kills for him overall. I could be a little bit wrong by 1 or 2 kills either way. And it's going to be 16,
you're right.
16 on the board. It was the round before this, or at least 2 rounds before, where we had seen him at 12 kills. So that's a triple kill right at the very last round right there. And we will be going to a 5-minute break, probably solving all sorts of technical issues on one side or another. But we'll be going into map 2 very soon. And this has not gone the way I think any of us have expected. But we'll see you in 5 minutes. Gentlemen, welcome back to ESA Contenders. My name is Keglenek, and with me is the wonderful and beautiful Lynx. Unfortunately, you can't see how beautiful he is or how beautiful I am because we're going straight into map number 2 between Dojo and All4One. Now, map number 1 was a very cursed match. We had seen a lot of interesting defenses, a lot of questionable attacks, and a lot of technical issues, both broadcast and in-game wise. But we're on a clean slate right now, all things considered. It's going to be Oregon this time instead of Clubhouse, and we have the sides reversed. All4One had a great run on their attacking side and an even better defense, but this time it's going to be Dojo on Oregon making their headway on attack. Now, with that being said, the first map or operator ban going down will be Maverick, and number 2 is going to be Thatcher. Call me Nostradamus, I already know it.
I'll just shut up. I'll just shut up. Carp said Nomad, so that's his guess. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, it's Thatcher. No point in guessing. Everyone knew it was going to be Thatcher. No surprises there. Map Thatcher ban. Might as well call this Clubhouse with that map Thatcher ban. That means we might see some Cali play. We saw a little bit on Clubhouse, but if you're going to have a map for Cali, Oregon is usually that map. Next ban.
Oh, okay. Jaeger going
Jaeger.
down. That's going to mean Wamai is going to be every single round of this game. Every single one.
Dude, what if All4One bans Wamai? What if All4One bans Wamai?
I mean,
they're debating right now. They're deliberating.
I mean,
they're trying to figure it out.
Do
we do it?
It could go either way. It's either gonna be super vanilla or it's gonna be Wamai, and it's gonna be Echo, very vanilla. Yes.
No fun. This match is no fun.
Yeah, no surprise there about the Echo ban going down. At this point, we all know what Echo can do and why he's overpowered, but the Jaeger ban is very interesting. In fact, let's go a step further and say the Maverick ban is also really interesting for Oregon as well. When you think about attacking on Oregon, you don't really immediately think of Maverick. He's great in all situations, but there are other hard breachers that could be exasperated, and there's other attackers that could be as well that could be deserving of that ban slot. Now, all things considered, we do see John rocking that Cali again.
Oh,
and
no.
Yeah, it hasn't gone well for John.
No, I was talking about the Cav. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the Cavi gets 6 picked into the mute. No real surprise there, but we do see the mirror on board as well.
I thought we were gonna have a scams flop, and again, where Cav just getting run, but no, he'll 6 pick to the mute, as we said. Thankfully, we won't see the operator that's most notorious with the rat playstyle getting brought out. And there we go, as you said, John on the Cali. Thatcher being banned, and it's Oregon. Surely we're gonna see it. Mozzie and Mew being brought out as well. Again, it's like it's Invite 2020 all over again. And there we go. We have Og on the Mira. Something we saw on Cafe, but something we haven't seen this match. First, because she got banned last match, but she'll be brought the very first round going into this. And I think Mira could be very strong. We haven't seen a lot of Mira play on Oregon, considering that, well, Mira is still a common ban in North America, and Oregon did just come out. So I'm interested to see what Og does and where he decides to place them. We might see one watching over towards Attic, but it looks like we'll see a soft one. Watch that closet wall, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of that one.
Yeah, I could definitely see why you're not a big fan of it. It does leave it a lot of open room for the attackers, either from the big window or even from white to take advantage of it and get a huge peak angle, possibly going through the entirety of the eastern part of the map, or the top floor. But all things considered, we definitely don't see a lot of attackers really going through white a whole lot, unless it's like a singular rush. So that might be what that's what Og is banking on, you know, not having happen. It's usually going to be either through master bedroom, or it's either going to be through big tower that we generally see the attackers coming from. So it's not really going to be challenged too much, and that's what probably Og is going to be hoping happens. And like we said before, it's going to be John looking for the lamp going on to the thermite wall, and that's going to be the mute going down. Thermite wall is going to open up inside Attic, and it's going to be Og who is wanting to challenge it on the Vector. Now, it's interesting. Mira doesn't want to play those mirror walls up until the wall goes down, which is interesting. Very interesting playstyle.
Certainly. Another interesting thing, Mob clearly has picked Bandit for his gun and C4s. He's got 2 Bandit batteries in his pocket, and he's not even playing on site. He put 2 of them on bedroom wall or closet wall, or pool wall, whatever you feel like calling it. That's the correct call out. But Mob, he's playing his own playstyle, correct be damned. He's playing downstairs in security, likely going to try and go for maybe a late flank onto the attack once they get a handle on where they're pushing from. Right now, Doofus and John have both rotated over to bedroom, and this is common for Oregon. you often see the Thermite, whether it be a Thatcher or a Cali, rotate over to open that bedroom wall. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. Riptide has made his way up attic, all the way almost to the site, but he's just encountered the Mira with Og playing behind it. We talked about in the last match how Mira will often strike fear into the attacker's heart, and it won't strike fear into Riptide, who takes down Og the Mira, and that Black Mira won't even be a factor for the rest of the round unless someone makes a rotate. He takes out one more, Q Fnatic, the star player from last match, but his prone angle will just be seen by the shotgun of Springfellow. He'll go to take it out. He'll get the down, but he won't be able to get the refrag. John takes off his head. Now there goes Mob for that late rotate, and Arcturus as well. He's off site. There's no defenders currently defending the bombs, and they're able to get the diffuser down. C4 will fly out, not connect to a single one. Arcturus, he's still got one in his back pocket, and he'll be the one to stop Doofus unless Mob manages to get the shots, but he'll go for the rotate up main stairs. But all angles are being watched right now. He does not have a good way into sight. And now, Dojo. They have 33 seconds until they win this round. Arcturus, he'll rotate to bedroom. Mob playing down below will try to go rotate up big tower stairs, and he is the last hope for the attack. He's got 100 HP, but he's being watched from all angles. And Dojo, they take map 1 on a convincing execute onto dorms.
Absolutely. Round number 1 went super well for them, and again, those mirror walls just were very peculiar, to say the very least. I understand the theory. You were waiting for a huge eastern push coming out from either master bedroom and or attic, and you would have had a huge stall area on what was once the kids bomb site in old Oregon, and you would have also had one attic as well, and that would have really stalled out the attackers a lot. It didn't really go the way you planned, unfortunately. I think the placement of a lot of the defenders was not in the best position to be in. But now that we're going back to kids again, it looks like that mirror strat was a little experimental, and we're going back to a more traditional defense. Springfellow this time going for the Wamai. Jaeger is banned, so we're not going to see a double duty of Attic being Wamai disc and ADS is going down, but we will be seeing a lot of Kaids, Docs, and Smokes. A lot of anger potential coming out here.
Bet you $5 that's why Mob is bringing Bandits, because that Jaeger's banned. He played Jaeger a plethora of times on Clubhouse. I don't know if it was his most played operator, but he certainly played that operator very frequently. And Bandit, he's kind of a Jaeger substitute, not in terms of utility. Obviously, they are very different in terms of what they do. But MP7, great gun. He's got a C4. That's a great gadget. And he's got lots of roam potential. He's a 1-3 as opposed to Jaeger, who is now a 2-2. Used to be a 1-3. So that's one thing that Bandit has a leg up over on the Jaeger. Wamai being brought this time. He was not brought last round, so they will have some projectile denial in the cards, so to speak. He might put one. We already see the deployable shield inside of Attic. We'll normally see a couple Wamais dedicated over that way as well. Og bringing the Kayad instead of the Mira this time. We'll add further onto the hard reach denial that is brought by Mob, and he's have some Electric Claws. And the most interesting pick that I would say is Q Fnatic on the dock. Where he's going to play will probably be, at least personally, what I'm most interested in so far in this match. Because aside from Attic, there's not exactly a lot of long angles on dorms.
You're absolutely right. There's not a whole lot of long angles. There are in theory, but they're never really practiced a whole lot. And at least in the positions that we see a lot of competitive teams, it's not really well used, especially from main lobby. There are long angles, but again, usually we see an attic push, and usually the attic that we see right now, that's the longest angle most of the attackers or defenders need to worry about. Now, of course, it looks like Attic is getting a little bit more resistance, and there we go. It looks like a successful Kaid trick on the electrical line. You can see the confusion a little bit in the attackers, like, where is it? Hello? And it's going to be that Thermite going down once again, and it looks like it's not going to be stalled out this time. Now, Attic wall is going to be opened up completely, and it's going to be up potentially to the smoke grenades to stall it out.
That's a great play from the Kai. Now, often you see a Kai successfully trick a Thermite charge. Normally, you'll see Hibana charges, but the Exothermics, in 99% of circumstances, the trigger time and explosion time is far too quick for a Kaya to be able to trick it. But the moment Og heard that lance get put in that wall, he knew that the Exothermic was coming, and he was able to time it properly because the lance also has a pretty long charge time to be deployed. Momo, despite that, will take down Smoke. The main source of plant denial and map control denial that Keg mentioned earlier. He'll be taken out, and Momo, he's made his entry into Attic despite the previous best efforts from All4One. It's now man advantage to the attacking team, and they look like in a stronger position than they did last time. Oh, actually, no. They look in pretty much the exact same position they did last time. It came a bit down to the wire. They're still in a great position. All4One, they're not out of this yet, though. John and Christo both making their entrance in Master Bedroom, opening up that trophy wall. It's going to take a bit of time. Diffuser down inside of Attic will have to be picked up by the attackers if they want to go for a flank. This is still winnable for All4One,
Ooh.
especially when they get the kill onto Riptide. There's still one more in Attic that Sprintfolo will have to deal with. Could go for a quick peek, but Doofus is watching it right at head level, but he's prone. He's far below head level. Momo gets a great headshot onto the dock. There's your long angle play taken out. Now it's all up to Mob, who's now been taken out. Now the two defenders, Sprintfolo, he's still in a great position to go for a flank. Oh, gets the headshot on one. This is still back to doable. Doofus, he's getting the plant. Sprintfolo, you're in a great position. All you have to do is deny, but not if Christo's watching it. He'll try to get it, and they will. What a great clutch by Og and Sprintfolo. They'll get the defuse, and All4One, they get their first round on the back of the Kayed and the Wamai.
Completely even going into round 3 right now. No one seems to really have the leg up over the other. One team, one dorms, one round, and the other team, one dorms, the other round. What's going to be interesting, though, is that we have to move on from dorms. Now we have to go down to either meeting and dining, or we're going to be seeing laundry. And of course, it's going to be laundry, typically the secondary or primary site for Oregon. And this could go either way still. It's 1-1. All4One did win map number 1, so there's a lot on the board for them to take over for Dojo. And if Dojo does win this map overall, we will be going to map 3. Now, with that being said, we are seeing John again sticking to this Cali pick. Now, the Cali pick is it makes a lot more sense on Oregon than it does on Clubhouse all the time, just because you can use the SPS and you can use the lances, of course, but there aren't really viable angles for that main sniper to be used. Now, of course, you just want to use the SPS all the time with her, and now there could be multiple angle opportunities that we'll see come out as well. But I'm curious to see overall what All4One wants to do for their defense. There is a smoke, there are Goyo shields, so it looks like we're going to see a blue tarp's defense, except they're reinforcing it already. So the answer is going to be no to that, and maybe we'll see something a little bit geared towards Freezer.
And normally you'll see a rotate hole made in that wall, and maybe a smoke or a Wamai or a Goyo play behind a deployable shield of any kind. With ADSs, well, which are banned, but you'd also see magnets along with Jaeger's gadget played. And maybe they have that strategy in their strat book, but because Jaeger's been banned, it would be a lot harder to hold that. You'd be solely relying on the magnets to catch those flashes and frag grenades, and you'd probably get cleared out pretty quickly if that's the sole projectile denial you're relying upon. So I think that might be a smart adaptation if that's what it ended up being. And as I'm sure you said, Og will probably be the only amount of blue tarps control and denial coming out. And there you go, his Goyo shield is already destroyed, and he's got to retreat back to pillars, but there he goes. He's still taking an aggressive fight against Momo. And you'll just see the Goyo peek out. Oh, and he lands a shot through the fire and the flames. And there goes the first opening frag for Dojo. Great foothold to get into this round, something that they desperately needed last time. Sprintfolo will continue to play behind pillars. He plays down some more magnets, and playing behind this Goyo shield, he's in a solid spot. Not exactly all well and good for the attack so far. They'll manage to get one more wall open, but they have to use those Cali lances to open up the wall inside of Supply. And there you go, she's holding that tight angle. Oh, but she misses some key shots, misses 2 to boot. And now that Bandit, he gets away, not with any kills, but he does escape with his life.
Absolutely. There's 1:50 left on the clock. The Cali shot's unfortunately missing with the sniper rifle. And it's going to be just hell on ice right now when it comes to the attackers. There's fire in the way, and there's no real movement being made. It's 1:40 left. Only 10 seconds have gone down, and it's felt like a lifetime. Not a single shot has been fired, but there's Wamai discs everywhere. As the time keeps going down, Doofus does slowly make his way forward. Gonna be the thermite charge going down near boiler room, and it's gonna allow a nice clean line of sight to the defuse. But there's 2 bodies inside Freezer, and there's gonna be 2 bodies to the left as well, and it's gonna be a really difficult time getting that diffuser down. The big question for the attackers is what happens next? Most of them are still, actually all of them are still alive. Momo does take down Q-Fanag, but Mob does find that first kill onto Dojo, and it's gonna be a double kill onto Riptide and Momo, and it's gonna be another kerfuffle going on. It's gonna be Christo who finds the Wamai, and it's gonna be a back and forth 2v1 situation. It's gonna be Dojo who brings it back. They break the curse of the even rounds, and it's gonna be them with a lead by 1 point.
Curse hasn't been broken yet. There's still a chance for All4One to take the next round, and then we would just have a continue of precedent. But that was almost doable for Mob. The Cali, and I don't know the other operator, but those 2 players lined up perfectly, and if he had just hit his shots, and they were a bit more accurate, he would have found himself in a 1v1. But again, it just wasn't in the cards. And if you're in a 1v3 and they're probably going to be able to get the plant down, that's not a round you should be winning. But still, good try from Mob. He almost made it work. And I believe he had got his first 3 kills that round. Didn't have any at the start of it. So, hey, good on him. Finally joining the match. Jaegerband not getting him down. And they'll go back to Laundry and Supply for their next defense on this next round with no changes. Oh, actually, 2 changes in their lineup, I noticed. Instead of a smoke, they'll be bringing a mute. Both have the shotgun and SMG-11, except instead of Toxic Babes, you have mute jammers that stop drones and hard breach or gadgets of any electronic variety. And they've also switched out the Mozzie in place of the Kayed. So you'll so hard breach them now with the Bandit and the Mute, and you'll have that Mute Mozzie combo that we talked about already.
Absolutely. Now, the Mute Mozzie combo has been a mainstay for a little while now. It's kind of fallen out in favor, but it's making a comeback with Oregon right now. And it's been working out pretty well. Yeah.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
But again, we haven't seen an operator change up whatsoever for Dojo's side, and at this point, there's no real reason to do so. All4One's having a hard time adjusting around on their defense. We are seeing some minor adjustments in terms of operator play, but they haven't changed around their defending sites each time they've lost a game. When they lost round 1 against Dojo and Dorms, they opted to go for Dorms again. Now, they did win it, but they're doing the same thing again after losing Laundry for the first time. Now, if they lose Laundry again, this could pose to be a really big problem. Not only would they be 2 rounds behind, but they would also need to probably force themselves to choose a new site to go to. But it looks like Dojo, once again, wants to go for blue tarps, and no one really seems to be contesting it again. The Goyo pick not on the blue tarps near pillars. He is playing a whole different new game, seemingly near Freezer, but it's going to be Momo who wants to play into it, and it's going to be Arctis! From where? Taking down Momo, and that is going to be I think your top ranker so far on Dojo, immediately dying.
That's not how I thought that gunfight would go. I thought Momo was about to catch Arcturus with his pants down, but instead it was quite the opposite. He loses about 35 HP, but hey, you just took down the Ash. It's a very useful operator in terms of fragging power and utility. And as you said, Momo, he hasn't been slacking this match. And now Dojo, who got the opening pick last round, they just had the reversal placed upon them with that Ash getting taken down. Still minute 50 left, not exactly all over for the attack. They still have plenty of time to make something work. They've already opened one specific wall, bunker wall to be specific, just leading into electrical. And they've opened one more to boot. That's all your exothermics gone. Christo might still have some X-Kairos in his pocket, but at this point, with Hatch open inside of meeting, there's probably not much you're going to be using it for, and he'll mainly be on flank watch duty as he was last time. Sprint Follow, he'll be doing the exact same as he did previously, playing inside of meeting, and Christo was also the one to catch him with his pants down. But speaking of pants down, John, he's completely in sight right now. Q Fnatic and Og don't even know. They're completely able to get the plant. And there goes Doofus. They might go for a peek out long towards main hall, and he'll go to the rotate. The Cali picks up one. Will he get the second? No, he's caught reloading. And will he get the diffuser? No, he will not. It manages to get down in Dojo while they find themselves with a man disadvantage and a health disadvantage with Riptide taking some shots. This still means this is incredibly winnable. But now with Sprint Follow taking out Riptide, it will take a good effort from Christo. He takes out one, but he's got to take out 2 more. One will push outside of pillars. Marks coming out means he knows where he is, but he's playing this perfectly. He's not taking any fight. He doesn't need to. Sprint Follow, he'll go for the push-up. You'll see the head, but he misses some key shots. That could be the round. He goes for the down. Now it's just Q Fnatic on low HP. He's only got 5 more seconds, make that 4, and he won't be able to stick to the fuser. He'll get shot, and Christo, with an amazing 1v3 clutch, wins Dojo the round. And what do you know, Keg? We do break with precedent.
We do break the curse once again. Dojo now 2 rounds ahead of All4One. Definitely not the same Dojo we saw last game. Their attacking side's looking a lot better than both the attack and defense we had seen on Clubhouse previously. Again, no changes whatsoever on their team, but we are seeing kids returning once more. Og playing on the Kaid, not the Mira anymore. Gonna be the mainstay, but we do see Q Fnatic, however, playing the very curious Alibi. Now, that could be easily 6th pick into, say, a Valkyrie pick, and it's gonna be an Ella instead. Okay. I mean, if all the sites you had to choose really in Siege, I would say Kids is one of the best for Ella. But no, instead it's going to be the Vigil pick. We've been debated. But hey, Vigil works even better. You have a much more reliable gun, all things considered, and you're able to hide away from the drones.
Certainly, All4One's strategy, if last round's anything to go off of with the changes they made, is one of info denial. And while they don't have a mute or a Mozzie, Vigil still does deny some intel, albeit it's a bit selfishly. Q Fnatic, he was a great fragger last time. He's been a bit quiet this match, but hey, there's still time for him to heat up. Being on the video means he'll have the best operator just behind Jaeger, at least in my opinion, to give a bonus to that fragging and make sure they amplify it for this round and allow for it. Again, it's the same lineup for Dojo as well. And hey, it's worked so far. They're 3-1. Sure, it took a 1v3 clutch last round, but you have all your basics covered. No real point in changing it, especially if it's dorms, where they'll probably need the same setup. Hopefully, they've read into the fact as soon as they drone out Og, they don't have a mute, so they will be able to drone him. Might chuck one up through the hatch. If they read Og is cage rigging once more, Doofus might not fall into the same trap. But again, we've had a theme of teams today not exactly being up to par with their drone game, and if they don't, they'll get the exact same situation last time of Lances and Exothermics getting unnecessarily wasted by completely counterable play.
Absolutely. Now, I'm curious to see how this Lance charge is going to go down, because if it works successfully, then all the power to you. But yeah, it really comes down to this round, and not only that, the Vigil as well. Kill Fnatic getting a fantastic pixel kill across the hallway from meeting, but it gets shut down immediately by Cristo. Cristo does take a lot of damage, and now we're curious to see what's going to happen on Attic. If this Lance is going to go down, if the Thermite goes down, this could be a really big game changer for this attack on Dojo. But the Kai trick comes down again, and is Thermite going to wait? No, he falls for it again.
Deja vu.
And that's gonna be Lance number 2 going down. That should be the second electrical claw not connect.
Didn't even work.
Okay, that's very interesting. That should have connected, but hey, Rainbow.
Oh my God, he's out of Lances.
He is out of Lance.
That is incredibly unfortunate.
Incredibly unfortunate. Went to the very top, and I misunderstood how Lances worked for Cali. And there we go. It's gonna get shot out, and I believe there might be one more Thermite charge, and yes, there is. There's nothing you can do at this point other than having the bandit charges go down, but it's gonna be Mob at the other side of the attic. He won't be able to extend his arms out like Mr. Fantastic and get it down.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you. Now, as we say that, of course, it's going to be the attic push that we see going forwards. There's a lot of bodies waiting in the trenches of the attic, waiting at the end of that lip to see who peeks out first. But it's going to be Riptide who finds Augel instead. It's not going to go the way they think it does. Actually, for either team, it doesn't. They're trading bodies left and right. It's a 2v2, and that Wamai peeks out seemingly out of nowhere. But it's going to be Doofus, though, who springs back and takes down Spring Polo. It's a 3v2 right now. Cristo is barely hanging on a line right now. Even a single breath will take him down. It's a 3v2, and you're down to one anchor and one really dedicated roamer. And again, it looks like their positioning isn't really the most stable. Speaking of stability, that's going to be Cristo who takes down Arcturus, and now you're down to a 3v1. Now, of course, if you had to leave it to some people's hands, it's going to be Mob. Mob has been a really good clutch maker so far, but is he able to do it? Has he met his match? That is a very good question. 20 seconds left. Fuser going down on his right, and there's 2 more to his left. Can he make the rotate with that MP7 and get that kill? The answer is going to be no. Dojo wins yet another round.
There were a lot of fights. A lot of fights that round that didn't need to be taken. The most notable of which was Sprinfolo inside of Attic. You didn't have to peek that Thermite. You had a deployable shield. Ash was taken down. Zofia used her lifelines, or at the very least one of her destructive lifelines, to open up the floor below Attic wall. If you would just sat behind that shield, sure, you would have had a Thermite swinging on you, but you would have wasted much more time. But instead, Sprinfolo got antsy, and he peeked the Thermite, and he died. And that was the rest of the players playing inside of Attic taken out, and that was free real estate for the attack to make their execute. Now, it eventually mostly came from Master Bedroom, but still, that's a place, in terms of process of elimination for angles, you just crossed off a big sticking point on that list. And Dojo, they've cemented their lead 4-1. And so far, based on how they've looked the 3 previous rounds, and especially that last one, they're in a great position to put this up 5-1, especially on a new bomb site. And when All4One has gone to those new bomb sites, they've lost it every single time.
Not only that, Lynx, but they're also on the attacking team. Now, keep in mind, it is becoming a little bit more attacker-centric, attacker-favored, but 4-1 favored? That's pretty crazy. And normally, Oregon for a while has been very defender-sided as well, especially in the beginning, but it is slowly shifting around to be the other way. But even then, 4-1 is still a crazy margin for the attackers to be in the favor. It's a bit absurd. And with the prediction of it being 5-1 is even crazier. All4One really needs to figure out their bearings again. Fnatic going 3-5 this game, not nearly the same showmanship we had seen in the previous game. Now, by this time last game, we had already seen Fnatic be at 12 kills last game.
He got a lot of kills. He got a lot of kills.
Yeah,
Say at least.
a lot of kills.
Maybe going on the Ella. Maybe that's what he needs. He needs that Scorpion. It's a bullet holes, 41 bullets. Ella mines, they cloud your screen, make it really annoying. Maybe that's the exact secret sauce to their lineup this match. But we'll just have to see. Because the final site, it's on Meeting Hall. Again, the first time they've gone to it. And we have currently Doofus with the diffuser and Momo playing outside a big window. Oh no, the Zofia on Dorm's Repel will just see Arcturus. And once he gets shot, he gets spooked and walks right into the crosshairs of the Zofia. That's half of your roaming duo. Oh, Krista, look at that. Got a cannon of an arm right there, chucking that drone into Trophy. But it's just Fnatic left up top, the one who's been quiet this game and the one we've been talking about for a little bit now. He's gonna be the only one up top, except Mob, who's now in the smoke, not necessarily known for its fragging, rotating up white stairs to try and help out the Ella, who has just been droned out. Nobody's watching flank. It's gonna be Major, but so has Fnatic shot onto Momo, and he gets 2 to boot. Riptide takes out. But Riptide's dead. That's the Ash and the Zofia. Doofus manages to get the refrag on the smoke, who just arrived to the engagement. He wasn't even there for all of it. That's still a great play by Fnatic to level it 3-3, despite the fact he took some damage, took out some key operators. I think that's a solid trade.
Very solid trade. Fnatic still alive so far, and that is a major issue for Dojo. They are bringing it back right now so far with the double kill, getting both the kills against Dojo as well. And we're not really seeing any of the Dojo members being close to getting to that bomb site. They're still struggling to figure out what they want to do, but there's still plenty of time on the board. Now it's going to be Og who's hiding on A site, and it's going to be Fnatic who's hiding below, it seems, on the stairs going towards Freezer. It's a bit of a standstill right now. We're in a lull. The drones are going down, and not a lot to really be seen. Crystal's gonna be up above inside of kids' dorms, but he's not gonna connect right away and find anything else. All the drones are going down, and all the prep work is being done. And it's gonna be Doofus who finds the thermite wall onto B site. The castle wall is still up, and they might be trying to melee that down to give themselves a little bit extra breathing room. But come now 30 seconds, there's not a lot to really do left. And that's gonna be John who finds Spring Bolo, and it's gonna be ramping up from there. Fnatic slowly making their way forward, and it's gonna be Og who needs to find that kill on the diffuser. Can he find it? The answer so far is no. He's able to land shots, but he can't find the kills, and there we go.
Oh,
it's gonna be
no.
4K. Oh, 4K coming out from Fnatic. It's be Crystal, the last one alive from above. They have no idea where Crystal is. The Grisma mine comes down. That's going to stall a little bit of time, but no, it's Dojo in the last second who brings it back. There was a DBNO on the board, and it's going to be Fnatic who cannot get away in time, and Christo secures the kill while blinded, concussed, and everything else. A 4K, though, to come back for Fnatic. He's officially woken up. Lynx, you can call him Reggie Gigas because his ability is slow start.
I expect me to come back after that one. You just drop that and just like, yeah, take that. Made a Pokemon joke. Oh my god, Reggie Gigas, he's massive. And Fnatic, he was absolutely massive that round. He didn't end up winning, but there was definitely winning potential in the cards. He got a bit aggressive, and I mean, understandable. You're in a 1v1. You've just killed 2 of the 3 remaining attackers, and it's a post plan. That's a time. If you're going to get aggressive, that is the time. Maybe he should have baited it out, but either way, I think he played it probably to the best he could. He just missed some crucial shots. And hey, Christo had the better angle, and he had the advantage gunfight, and he was the one that was most likely to win it, and that's what ended up happening. Problem is, Dojo, it's 5-1 now, and they're going onto Oregon defense. All4One's attacks are going to have to be something spectacular if they want to end up winning this. And I'm not wrong. Let me check my notes. They did start on attack on Clubhouse, and if I do recall, they did go up 4-2 at the half. Clubhouse is a fairly defender-sided map, maybe not to the extent Oregon is, but I'd say they're comparable in terms of odds. All4One, if they were able to pull off something crazy on their attacks last time and get a 4-2 lead on Clubhouse, maybe we'll just see something here on Oregon, but they're down 5-1, and if they're going to pull out those crazy attacks, they're going to need to do it now more than ever.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind, Dojo is ahead by a considerable amount of points in a row right now. I believe the last time, checking my notes as well. The last time we had seen All4One win a round was round 2. They're currently at round 7. And it's been looking really good for Dojo so far on the attack, but it could be an attacker-sided game as well. This is where we had seen Fnatic originally pop off on Clubhouse. Now, 7-2 already on the defense. He didn't do so great of a defense on Clubhouse either, but this time around, he's on defense with already 7 attacks and 7 kills under his belt. So, well, my magnets are going to go down, proximity alarms are in full effect, and we're already seeing Hellfire going down onto the site. It's Fnatic holding the top of the stairs and now rotating around, going to be on blue tarps. It's going to be Riptide, though, who finds that first kill in the Arctis. And it's going to be a snowball effect potentially from there. Your Iana goes down. It's the first time, like we had mentioned earlier, that we see a Void Edge operator come out. Exothermic charge is coming down from inside of electrical room, and that is going to be not able to be bandage tricked whatsoever. Spring Polo and everyone else in company trying to find those angles going towards the B site, and no one is showing up. Now, here's the big question right now. The attackers have the disadvantage, but they seem to have the technical advantage of how far they are onto the site. The frag grenades are going down, and as I say that, Mob takes down Riptide, and suddenly even. But not so even, because Momo is DBNO. He does get picked back up, but at what cost? The cost is 75% of his health. Now, we still have Fnatic on board. You have all of your soft breach and your hard breachers. You only lost out on your intel. So you lost, never mind, you lose down on Mob as well. That's your soft breach and your frag grenades going down. A minute and 16 left. It's a 4v3, and you still have your diffuser in hand. Now, it's a bit of a low right now. You're trying to figure out what you want to do next, and it's just a standstill. I'm really curious to see what happens next. There's no C4s on the board. Spring Follow finds John, and it's going to be a 3v3. The bomb plant is going down, and the Mommy beats his head, and that is going to be a snowball for Dojo to bring it to match point. Now, of course, if Dojo does win this next round, we will be going to a map 3.
You gotta win those. Oh, that was brutal. That last 5 seconds was just, that was tough to watch, if I want to be completely honest with you. Og on the Hibana was watching the cross as his teammate Sprint Follow, I believe, was getting the plant down in default. He saw the Mozzie, wide swing the Thermite, and then he just quick peeked it, fired a couple shots that missed the Mozzie, and as a result, he killed the diffuser. You gotta have more consistent coverage like that. I know it's obvious, but that's such that it loses your rounds, and that's exactly what happened there. They're up 6-1 now. If Og had just covered that to the best of his ability instead of doing whatever he did mechanically, then it could potentially, you know what? It should be 5-2 right now. But sometimes you make those mistakes. Maybe he fat-fingered. I'm not entirely sure, but the coverage was far less than adequate from Og, and that's why Dojo's match point right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Dojo is ahead leaps and bounds right now. This is, again, like I've said before, not the same Dojo we saw on Clubhouse. They really seem to have gotten their act together, and they are rushing Oregon. But it's not too late for All4One. They still have a chance to bring it back. We've seen their full potential from the last map and what they can really do to bring those kills on the board. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the time they're relying a little too much on their last-minute sub, Fnatic, to really bring it in. And it looks like it's no different this game either. Spring Polo does have 5 kills, but Fnatic has 3. And besides those 2, the one with the most amount of kills after is down to 4. And it's a lot different than the kill spread we see on Dojo's side, which is coming close to 10 for quite a few different operators.
Very similar setup in terms of defense coming out from Dojo. This is the first round that we've seen them defend bedroom, because we've only seen All4One's defenses previously, obviously. I started talking like William Shatner there for a second. I was just trying to think through my words. Arcturus, he'll go for the Repellent Armory. But yeah, it's pretty much nothing all that crazy. Aside from the Ela and the Maestro, which were rarely seen on All4One's side, except for a couple big rounds by Fnatic. Those were the only ones where we saw the Ela in play. Actually, just the one round from Fnatic where he played the Ela. But the Maestro was basically non-existent on All4One's defense. And what's also non-existent is some hard breach now. You have the Bandit, but not nearly to the same dedication that Og was putting. But speaking of dedication, there's a flank coming up. He's dedicated flank from Doofus, and he gets 1. He doesn't care about the Claymore. He shot it, and he picks up 1. That's Fnatic, their top fragger, and he'll just run away. Mob gets taken down below. And this is exactly the kind of play Dojo need to seal this off. Arcturus taken down as well. It'll be Sprin, Follow, and Og left in a 5v2. This is all but over at this point.
All but over indeed. Arcturus' DBNO. Spring Polo is damaged beyond recognition. And you jump the dog. And of course, it doesn't stop them. Doofus getting another kill on the Spring Polo. And it's going to be a return fire. Return fire everywhere. John takes down Og. And you're down to the Arcturus trapped inside Master Bedroom. He's surrounded not only by his left, but straight ahead, and probably soon to be his right as well, and probably underneath. This is looking like it's going to be map number 2 going towards Dojo, and we'll be soon going to map number 3, a flawless round to end it all.
Yep, that was... It certainly looked... It looked like All4One had a chance on round 2. That was the last map they won. Then as it kept going on, they just kept falling and falling, and they just never seemed to stop falling. They're still falling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, 7-1 on All4One's map pick 2. I thought All4One winning Clubhouse at 7-4, I believe. Either way, 7-3, 7-4, much closer than a 7-1, obviously. I didn't anticipate that we'd be going to map 3, or at the very least going to map 3 at such an extensive degree. But hey, here we are. All4One, I guess, just fell asleep that match.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of falling asleep, this will be map number 3. One team can only come out on top. It doesn't matter how many overtime match points we go to. Someone's got to come out on top. And it's either going to be Dojo, who's currently in the lead over All4One, or it's going to be All4One, who has a lot to prove right now by having 0 points on the board. Now, we are going to be going to, I believe, Cafe is the last map. We have seen Cafe in the previous set. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the Coastline match again. Now, we're going to be asking to see if the team members want to have a break, but they might just want to go back into it because they are all hyped up from those last 2 matches.
Yeah. If I were Dojo, I'd want to go on hot right now. Just just go straight into it.
And so we'll be starting on map number 3. It's going to be Cafe once again, and this could legitimately go either way. It's a 50-50 down the middle. Both teams won in each of their maps by an extensive margin. And I don't know. It's either going to be overtime max point, or it's going to be a stomp from one team to another.
I mean, our predictions earlier, certainly, they're both coming to pass in a way. We both said it could either be extremely close, or it could be a stomp, either way. And in a way, it's both. Sure, we're going to map 3, but on both sides, it was a pretty one-sided affair, to various extents. But that last one, that second map on Oregon, certainly was a one-sided affair. So hey, you get the best of both worlds sometimes. And speaking of both worlds, we've had pretty much the same bans the entire time. Thatcher has been banned on all 3 maps now, and that'll continue on Cafe. If they ban Mav, that'll be the continuance. He's been banned on both maps as well. And if we have the Mav Thatch ban, we'll get a whole series of what are, in my opinion, the least fun bans in the game. But hey, that's just my opinion. What do I know?
Well, that pretty much happened last map as well. We didn't really have too
many.
There
you go.
Yep. Didn't really have too many interesting bans other than, I believe, the Jaeger last game, which, it was something.
That was something. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, that was really interesting. I'm not sure if that was a target ban or not, but Thatcher and Maverick going down. No real surprise coming out here, but we are going to be seeing the next defender ban. This will probably be the spiciest ban of them all, or it's going to be Mira and or Echo combined. And it's going to be Valkyrie going down next. Now, we've been seeing Valkyrie bans more and more, and it's a great anti-intel measure. We didn't really see Valkyrie used a whole lot last map, but we did see it used a little bit on Dojo's side. Now, it's interesting that Dojo decides to ban it out as well, so maybe it's a target ban from the strats that All4One uses on their side.
Perhaps, and going for the final ban, I'd expect something pretty boring.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. There we go with the Mira. Well, Mai will be in play, so that's important. Well, Mai hasn't been banned. And, dude, that Jaeger ban is still... It caught me so off guard. I still can't believe it. I wish Jaeger got banned more, honestly. Like, it makes it interesting. It makes it interesting whenever a Jaeger's not in play. Just because teams they play so differently. It makes you realize how often Jaeger's played, and 2, how integral he is to a lot of setups.
Well, I'm sure once one of the defenders, either Mirror or Echo, get inevitably reworked, we are going to see much more Jaeger bans. That's typically how it works when it comes to Siege. There's a highly banned operator. They tweak it a little bit. It goes down, and a new one pops up with almost 100% ban rate. It is the way of life, and we're going to be going to Bar and Cocktail once again. Now, what's interesting, the smoke pick from Mob goes in the 6th pick of Doc. He's probably going to play a little bit more aggressive, hiding around Bar Cocktail. Now, I'm curious to see if he's going to play anywhere else, but that's usually your standard dock placement for this top site.
And Mob's certainly going to be playing those long angles with the AR, trying to get some sight lines into Cigar, Christmas, and probably, yeah, like you said, playing in Cocktail, trying to get an angle on the attackers all the way on that west side of the map. The 6 pick from the smoke means that the one likely playing inside a bathroom will be Sprint Folo, close with that shotgun, SMG-11, and C4 combo that you see so often played there. And since Wamai is in play, we'll see him put his shield down in Pixel spot and likely play behind there with a couple ADSs behind couches. Oh no, actually, one ADS really close to the shield on Pixel itself, and then there will be one right behind the couch. Maybe just trying to play it safe. You know what? I respect it. Trying to spice things up a little bit in terms of utility placement. We'll also layer all that projectile denial with a few more magnets just to be safe. So all things considered, it's a standard cafe lineup. Echo playing in Cocktail, Mob the only real variance, but even then, Doc's not all that uncommon.
No, not that uncommon whatsoever. And we've been seeing it a few times before. Even in the previous set when we had our cafe matchup, we did see the Doc come out. But again, no real crazy operators one way or another. And it seems like the method of attacking is pretty orthodox as well. Now, of course, there's going to be a huge struggle inside Cigar as usual, but it's going to matter how they want to burn these ADSs, or in the case of the attackers, if they can even burn the ADSs. That's usually the biggest gripe when it comes to attacking on Bar and Cocktail. If they can get rid of the ADSs, statistically, I believe it goes much further in Dojo or any attacking team's advantage. Arcturus is playing down below, and here's what's interesting about this round, actually. Q Fnatic is playing an anchor. He's playing Echo this time around, and we have not seen him play a non-roamer yet.
Yeah, he's played a lot of those aggressive roles, but this is also something you and I talked about at the beginning. If you're gonna put a sub anywhere, the safe bet is usually on the support role. Now, obviously, it depends on who he's replacing. If he's replacing an entry, you're gonna want someone who's good at entrying for a sub. But droning, clearing out utility, handling echo drones, that's kind of a safe job. And speaking of safe, Mob is not at all. Momo will take him out immediately. It might have been over on a Cocktail balcony, but either way, the Doc will no longer be holding any angles, and he'll be the first person on cam duty throughout this match. All will get droned out behind Pixel. The Loki's there, but he hasn't even wasted a minute 40. The attackers just kind of spent that time slowly walking into Christmas, and now it'll be time for the attacker to try and delete that shield, and yes, they will. He'll rotate back out of white. But the next line of defense is Sprint Full with that shotgun, who's actually not playing inside a bathroom. He's playing with the SMG-11 inside of Freezer, maybe to try and get an angle on that Cigar doorway, but that's certainly a break with tradition. And the Wamai, he's just rotated all the way back. There's nobody playing close with the shotgun there, unless the Mute tries to make the rotate. But as a result, Sophia will have free entry into the bathroom, and there you go. She sees the angle to Freezer. Oh, but Arcturus hits a great shot. He threads the needle through various holes and angles, and he manages to take out the Zofia, but now Momo will take her place inside a bathroom. Arcturus at low HP might have to challenge the Ashe soon, along with the Wamai, and with a 2v1 gunfight, the Ashe's life might be in short order, and she won't be living for very long. And there you go, you see that long angle, and Q Fnatic takes out one on Momo. Another one gets taken out as well, and John, he'll take out the Q Fnatic on the refrag. Sprint Polo gets one in turn, and now it's just Christo, the Nomad, left in a 1v3. Two members of All4One are on low HP, but it's going to be extremely hard for the Nomad to pull this out, and with only 21 bullets, odds are it's not going to happen. Oh, the pre-fire on the Mute on the floor. I thought that'd take the Nomad off guard, but instead she'll manage to get the kill. But again, she has to get the plant down. There's two defenders left alive. She's going to try to get the kills. Oh, and she picks up one. And she's going to do, and she pulls it off! Christo does the unthinkable and clutches the 1v3 with that 21 bullet ARX. And Dojo get around. They definitely shouldn't have won.
What the heck just happened? Very nice work overall from the Nomad pick. Christo putting in work with the last-minute triple kill. Definitely something to wake you up in the morning, or in half an hour soon to be the morning. And it's 1 point on the board for Dojo. Now, with an opening pick like that, that is not a great look for All4One. Again, Q Fnatic remaining on these anchor picks. Gonna go for the Maestro this time. I'm not really sure what's going on the comms or the strategy side of Cafe, but Q Fnatic was playing really well on the roaming pick for the majority of the last two games. I'm not really sure why the change has been necessary. Mob has been doing very consistently great as well, as so is Arcturus, so maybe they realize they need to work on their anchoring game a little bit more.
Perhaps, I mean, the ops he's been playing, it's not like they've been smoke. It would have been weird if they put him on smoke. It'd be like, that's a complete role reversal. But, I mean, Echo, sure, he's a lot more of an anchor, but he's got that MP5 SMG with the ACOG, still can hold long angles. And hey, he landed a shot all the way over by Pixel and Bathroom on that MP5. And now he's on Maestro with an Alda. That's got 81 bullets and incredibly high stopping power. I mean, these are good guns for him to be on that are still going to be conducive for his ability to frag out. And last match, while he came alive towards the end, he was pretty quiet for most of the time. So maybe this is a move by All4One just to say, hey, it's all good. You're a sub, don't worry. But hey, you had a bit of a quiet match last time. Let's put you on the back burner. Let's put you on a more of a supporting role. You'll be watching cams, and hey, if you can still frag and land those shots, we're gonna give you some guns to do it with. I think that's a smart move. And so far, going into their defense, that's the only real adjustment they've made is putting Q Fnatic from that Echo onto that Maestro. Mob also being taken off the dock will be put on the Bandit. So now they'll have hard breach denial in the form of Mute and the Bandit batteries. And overall, that was All4One's round last time. And it's still, all likelihood, probably can be All4One's this time again if they just do the same thing, just not choke at the end.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the biggest, hardest part of this match, is going to be not choking it out. We've been seeing it happen on both teams so far through the different matches of them choking it out one point or another. And all things considered, Q Fnatic did have a very quiet last match, but he still fragged out more than most of his team, which is crazy to say the very least. Now, Arcturus is holding a very interesting angle watching New Hatch. If anyone drops down from there, there's a very good chance they will instantly die. But, of course, they drop down the regular old Cigar Hatch, and they're not being contested either by Cigar or by pillars down below. The mine magnets do come down, and any projectile that goes anywhere close to AUG is going to be instantly destroyed. But of course, that's not going to stop you on actual bar itself. B-site is going to be fragged out completely by different projectiles. And even all things considered, AUG still gets splashed out a little bit by the concussion. It's 1-0 right now in Dojo's favor, and it's looking like it's going to snowball that way. However, as well, Momo takes down Arcturus. And that's going to allow a lot of the attackers to move their way down White Hall. They're trying to open up the main wall going into Washroom and Freezer. And if they can open this up, they'll give them a great line of sight. Of course, Q Fnatic and others did take advantage of that last round as well, but they still ended up losing it out. That's going to give a great line of sight in the Freezer, and it's going to effectively trap where Mob is. He can't move at all. Q Fnatic still holding onto the Maestro cams, and it's going to be AUG playing in Washrooms, trying to hold off as much as he can, going towards White. Now, if White can be stopped, it's only going to be the only opposition inside a Freezer, and that's going to be left up to Mob. Springfolo right now is the only one on White, and I'm not really sure where AUG is right now. I believe he's still in Washrooms, question mark, but that'll be an answer for another time. But it's going to be the Bandit who takes down Riptide, but that diffuser goes down. C4s, anybody got one? Apparently no, that's going to be AUG who takes down Momo. That's going to be the clapback from Doofus taking down Mob. Of course, it goes back to back to back to back into back again. AUG takes down Caristo. And the 2v3. 2v3 no more. That is going to be a double kill death from Q Fnatic and Springfolo, respectively, into a win on All4One.
Somebody needs to relay to players that if you're in a situation like that, sure, you might not, even if you're not holding the best angle, the answer is not to turn your back and sprint away. I've seen so many rounds in the very few days I've casted ESA so far that probably, all honesty, probably couldn't have been won. But that was a post plane for the attack, so that should normally go to the attackers, even if it's a 2v3. Just, they lose the round because they're like, I need to reposition, and they turn around and just sprint away. If you're going to do that, just back away, holding the angle. Sure, you're moving, but you're still holding the angle. You might not be moving as fast, but if that exact situation happens where somebody peeks you, your back's not to them. You're going to be facing them, and you're going to be able to fire some more shots down. Sure, you might die, but it's a better chance than what John ended up doing. Dojo lose that round in what probably could have been winnable, but hey, got to give it to All4One. That was some great play. They managed to get that retake.
Now, something to keep in mind is that we have seen this 1-1 before. I want to say each and every game between the two teams so far, it has ended in 1-1. Actually, no, I stand corrected. That was not the case for map number 1. But last map, it was. We saw Dojo and All4One go 1-1, and that was the only time All4One won around. Now, Dojo will have to start taking this away if they want a repeat of the Oregon map, but All4One is playing on Kitchen right now. They have a chance to bring it back. They have the castle. They know the rotates. They know where the castle's supposed to go, and this might prove to be difficult for Dojo, but it's up to them to adapt around this. and figure it out. But it looks like no, even with the castle, they're not going to go for the rotates that we're used to with the castle pick. In fact, that rotate is going to be near the back of the bar in the lobby. I have never seen this happen before.
I can't say I have either, not saying it hasn't, but my memory isn't bringing anything to my mind right now. But in terms of the castle, there's nothing all too crazy in terms of the actual physical castle barricades. And so far from the attack from Dojo, where everyone's pushing from, nothing all that crazy either. John and Momo will both rappel up to the roof, likely going for a top-down clear, and two more will join them in terms of Christo, and I believe that is Riptide, and Doofus the fifth. They'll all go to the rooftop. It's like your traditional ranked cafe matches. Any of you could cast this if you wanted, because it's nothing all that crazy so far. Momo will get droned in that top floor as his fleet of drones fly into Long Bar and Christmas, and they'll clear out this top floor pretty efficiently the moment they realize that there is nobody playing up here. And once they drone out second floor, they can take that just as quickly. The droning has been a lot faster than we've seen in some of the games tonight, so I can certainly give that to Dojo so far. And with everyone playing on site, they're in a great position to get some soft destruction out. The only issue is they brought breach charges, no sledge, no buck of any kind, and they'll only have to rely on those breach charges. And sure, breach charges, they can open up quite a bit, but not having that dedicated sledge or that buck means you're going to be a little bit limited in what you actually can open up in terms of that ceiling above the bomb site. But looking at the take so far and how they've been pushing, it looks like they might just be going for a straight execute without worrying about all that vertical play.
Yeah, I mean, the straight execute wouldn't be a bad option right now. We've seen Dojo kind of fumble around with, either vertical play or just kind of not being able to go like a straight shot onto the site. It looks like they're doing a mixture of both right now, however. We have the IQ getting rid of the bandit batteries inside Freezer. That could definitely prep up something inside Freezer, maybe a hard breach opening up, and that's going to be Arcturus barely making away with their life. Of course, Momo does take down Ong as well, and that's going to be your castle off the board. Arcturus isn't favoring too well either. He was taking quite a bit of damage, and he wants to go back for round 2 as well. He wants to see if he can get that peek back again. They'll never expect me peeking again in the same spot below. But hey, let's see if it does happen. And so far, it's not working out in his favor. Actually, no, it's a little null and void. That's going to be Riptide taking on Spring Follow as well. So if Arcturus wants to play risky again, he's going to put his team at a detriment. Just like that, Riptide does find Arcturus, putting his team at a detriment. Now it's going to be a 5v2 right now. You're down to your Maestro, and you're down to your Maestro. 5v1. If your team gets picked off by one vertical play, maybe it's best if the other 4 do not. But that's going to be a flawless win coming down from Momo, and Dojo takes another round off the board. This is looking like a lot of deja vu links from last game.
Certainly is. I'm not entirely sure why all 3 of them decided to peek the exact same spot they all kept dying from, but hey, I'm not in the comms. I don't know what the calls were. But in hindsight, which to be fair, hindsight is 2020, but doesn't look exactly
not that year. It's the worst year.
What? Oh, 2020. I was like, what do you mean? My eyesight 2020 is fine. But yeah, 2020, it's not great so far, and that last round certainly wasn't a great showing from All4One either. The fact that they just keep peeking that hole made from above that's evidence in and of itself at why that round was a disaster. But overall, that was a great attack coming out from Dojo. They basically were on pace the entire time for where they should be in their execute. They cleared out top floor and second floor in no time at all. Basically took a minute for both floors to get cleared. Then the vertical play started coming out, IQ destroying electronics from above and holes being open on top of that. And hey, if the defense is making your job easy, they're going to constantly peek you at a disadvantaged gunfight. If I'm Riptide, I'd take those 3 kills as well.
Yeah, I mean, Riptide, it was just kind of handed to Riptide on the ladder. You got one. You contested a lot with Arcturus that first game, with that first peak. Didn't really work out well. You traded some shots back and forth. Fine, whatever. But then you got 1, you got 2, and then you got Arcturus. And that was 3.
Yeah, it's just, it was unfortunate. It wasn't great.
Very, very unfortunate. But this time around, we're going to reading and mine. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're going back to kitchen again. I misspoke. But we are seeing a much more vertical defense coming out this time around. We do see Mob and Spring Follow playing upstairs. And Q Fnatic is now returning away from the anchoring position and onto the Jaeger. Keep in mind, he's 2-2 so far, not really having much of a show up. In fact, 2-2 seems to be, 3-2 is the number 1 so far for their team, and it's actually not looking too much better on Dojo's side either. It's been kind of more evenly spread out on Dojo, where it's a little bit more lopsided for All4One. But all things considered, let's see how this plays out.
Certainly. I do think this is a good adjustment coming out from Sprint Folo to apply some more pressure on that top floor. He will get droned down, as he already notified that he was on that second floor. But Momo, he's just crouch walking. Vigil's gonna get caught out, I guess not. I eat my words. And I'll just continue to do so. Momo will get taken out by Sprint Folo. John does manage to get the refrag, so the Vigil will die eventually. But overall, I don't know if that trade necessarily goes in the favor of the defense. Sure, you've got your one, and you took out Ash, a very key piece of utility. But all that's really there are ADSs, and you already have plenty of operators that can waste that utility as effectively as Ash. Now, won't have as many, and Mob, speaking of many, will have many different operators all pushing down onto him. It'll be John to take him out. You just need the IQ to deal with these roamers. He's killed both of them so far, and now it's a 3v4 left with all defenders currently on site. Not sure where Cute Fnatic is. He's still a factor in this round. We thought he'd be playing a bit more aggressively, but the fact that he was noticeably absent from the top floor speaks to the fact he could be hiding his fragging prowess for later on in the round.
That's a very good way of putting it. I'm curious to see where he's at right now. Oh, he's
There
just
he
in
is.
bakery. Okay, that's an interesting site hold, especially because we had seen last round that they wanted to play very vertically.
What angle is he holding right now?
He is holding.
Why is he holding that? They have somebody in coach check. Why does he doesn't need to hold that angle? Either way, he's doing his job.
Screw it, whatever. But anyways, it's a 4v3 right now. You have one anchor left, and you have two of your roamers playing the anchoring role as well, just outside of the site. Now, the impact track is ready from Octorus, but it's not going to work out, and the Freezer's going to be opened up. This would be a great opportunity for the Castle and the Jaeger to rotate around into Freezer. It looks like it actually does work out pretty well. It's going to be Og taking down John, and it's going to be a 3v3. But of course, the secondary one does come out, and that's going to be Christo taking down Octorus. And not Og, and it's gonna be your anchor going down. You're down to Q Fnatic and Og being the last ones alive. And can you bring it back? That is the million-dollar question. Now that diffuser does have some time to go back down. It's gonna be 15 seconds, so now will be the time to play the patient game. Patience is not in Q Fnatic's vocabulary, however, getting a double kill, but unfortunately Og wasn't able to replicate the same. It's in fact gonna be Riptide who replicates it and gets a double kill of their own, taking down the last two defenders and winning another round in Dojo's favor.
That was a very winnable round coming out from All4One, but their fate was, well, it wasn't, I wouldn't say sealed, but their fate became, their eventual fate became increasingly likely when Arcturus just wide swang that freezer. I mean, I understand he was trapped in there. There wasn't much room he could go. Nomad was standing on white stairs. If he tried to rotate out, he would have been shot. But just standing there would have wasted way more time, and he could have played off the sound to see if the Nomad was going to end up pushing that way. But instead, he decided to swing, and he got taken down as a result. Sure, if you end up winning that, you get an incredibly impactful kill. But if you don't, which in all likelihood, that is what's going to happen when you swing an angle like that, you're just going to end up putting your team at a disadvantage. And while you got to hand it to Q Fnatic, he almost brought it back there. It's just plays like that that end up costing All4One the round. There's glimpses of brilliance. They're almost able to bring it back. David did bring it back one round, and hey, Dojo, one of their rounds is a clutch. They haven't looked terrible. They've looked pretty solid, but they can't be making those plays when it's 3-1 right now and Dojo's on attack.
Absolutely. You're making a lot of silly mistakes right now, and you are slowly losing any sort of potential to bring back this match. Now, of course, we are coming to a close of the first half, so it's definitely not too late to bring it back. But Cafe, I think we can all agree, is a really defender-sided map, and you have only 1 point on the board as a defender. Now, Dojo has 3. Now, of course, this could go either way, being barring cocktail. It could be a 3-2 split going into round number 6, and so you don't really know. But with that being said, we are seeing a lot of presence inside of washrooms, and we're getting to that point again where I'm having a bunch of question marks coming around about the defensive prowess of All4One and what they want to do. The Iron Shield is not set up yet. Oh no, I'm sorry, it is.
It's
It
just
was.
so
It was
thin,
like
you
paper
can't
thin. Yeah, it was
even see
paper
it, dude.
thin. It's like playing Paper Mario. I can barely see anything. But it's going to be Og playing inside half washrooms and half the shield. We actually have seen this before, and it works out pretty well. But it's going to be a matter of whether Riptide can actually get that open or not, or past that white shield marker. And so far, the answer seems to be yes. I believe that's going to be the cigar wall, not quite open yet. I was mistaken there, and that's going to be...
Oh.
Why are you there, Mom?
You don't need to peek that, Mob. You did not need to peek that one, Chief. Oh no. Well, at Arcturus, you don't have to peek those guys.
What
You're Echo and Bandit. You can just chill. You didn't have to peek those. All4One, they're now in a 3v5 on the back of some more boneheaded aggressive play. Q Fnatic, he's got to make his way back to site, all playing on white stairs, meaning that 2 of those defenders will be playing over there. One thing I want to note so far, this is the 3rd time they've played Cocktail. They've won it once and lost it once. They haven't gone reading a single time. And hey, maybe they've got something up their sleeve. Sprint Follow will surprise Riptide, take out the Star Fragger for Dojo so far in this series. Will be taken out. But you're still down a man. But Q Fnatic, he's on a rotate up red stairs. He hears the air jab that Christo's placed it there every single time, and he'll back off. Probably a smart move. I would wait a bit longer. Also, the fact that there's a drone in the corner that Q Fnatic failed to see. They would have known exactly if he was coming up red stairs. Rotating off is definitely the smart move. Dojo with a minute left, still in a 4v3, means they're likely to take this, but Q Fnatic, he'll do his best to even it. Christo, the Nomad I just mentioned, will get his head taken clean off. And now he might try to go for a rotate up red, but it's going to be extremely hard with Doofus and Momo both still on the side. He'll take out one, but not the other. Og with the great positioning and refrag on white stairs. Q Fnatic will be the 2nd man leading up that charge up white to retake the site. But Og, he walks right into John's crosshairs, but Q Fnatic, he spots Doofus right in his, and now it's John left in a 1v1. The Jaeger, he's done such an instrumental job in bringing this round back in the favor of All4One, and he could just be the one to bring it back. John drops a new hash sheet, pushing through Cigar. He could be walking right at Q Fnatic's crosshairs, but he's looking the wrong way. And a great micro flick from John will put Dojo up 4-1 going into the final round of this half.
You gotta wonder what's going on in the minds of half of All4One. Those 2 opening picks were completely unnecessary. Mob and Arcturus had very poor positioning at the beginning of that round, and that is kind of the theme of this game right now for All4One side, is that we've been seeing a lot of poor positioning for the majority of the players. For example, much earlier on when we had seen Kitchen before for the very first time, we had seen Riptide get a triple kill in the same exact vertical hole. It wasn't a big hole either. It was the same standard soft breach hole you usually see. And getting a triple kill off of that is downright silly 3 maps in. But of course, that happened again for a much lesser extent this last round as well. Mob and Arcturus got taken down immediately, not expecting the aggression that Dojo had brought out. Now, Q Fnatic did help out quite a bit, but even then, he was holding the wrong angle at the very end. It's really being carried by 3 different players. Now, Mob and Arcturus, I don't want to say there's a correlation, but there's a reason why they're both going 1 and 5 right now.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Keg. I think you might be figuring things out. What?
Detective Keglanek on duty.
Is that a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Who calls you Detective Keg? Who calls you that? That's all right. That's fair. You know what? I'll accept that. We all got to be positive about ourselves sometimes. And as you mentioned earlier, Arctis and Mob certainly aren't going positive in terms of KD. And what's kind of odd is that the sub played Echo better than Arcturus played Echo. When All4One initially brought Echo, they were playing him pretty much in the same position that you would normally see an Echo or Maestro play. Over on the East Cocktail side of things, playing behind a reinforced wall, maybe playing a long angle in the bathroom, but again, not taking any aggressive gunfights. Same with Freezer. Nobody was taking any aggressive gunfights and they didn't need to. But in that round, what we saw was Mob and Arcturus peeking angles, as Keg said, that they completely didn't need to. Going into this round, if they even want to have a hope of closing this at 4-2, they already need to be much more conservative with their play. Look at Arcturus. He's already below Skylight, peeking up towards New Hatch, which isn't even open. He's pre-firing an angle that technically isn't even real at the moment. It'll now be blown up. But hey, if I had Jaeger with 270, 300 bullets, I gotta shoot him on something too. So who can blame him? It's the same hold from All4One, and if they play it exactly the same, then it's going to be another round for Dojo. Q Fnatic down below on the Vigil could be the X factor that this round needs. He certainly was last time, and he's going to be the main one to watch this time. Currently sitting inside of Mining and seeing if he can get a flank off.
Speaking of flanks going off, we're going to have to see what he does towards the end of the round. He usually keeps himself last alive and for good purpose, usually being the flank. But that's going to be a lot of concussions going down against Og, and he's got the back out of Cigar. That's going to allow full Cigar control once again going towards Dojo. Line of sight from the soft breach wall is going to be going again into the attacker's favor, and now suddenly we have a lot of defenders going underneath the site waiting for either C4 plays or just waiting for those flanks. In fact, the majority of the defense isn't even on site right now. In fact, there's only 1 person on site. Actually, no, I apologize. There's 2. There's going to be Spring Photo and Arcturus. Arcturus is backing back off and onto the site, and the C4 from Mob might be able to find a really big kill. Is he gonna get this off? And no, he switches his angle, and it doesn't work out. Had he stuck it originally, that could have been a kill on the Doofus, but unfortunately, he second-guessed himself. Now that is the mute charge going to be on that exothermic wall. That's why it didn't go off. Ong does find the opening pick onto Riptide, however, and that's a really good opening pick. In fact, that might be the first one we have seen against Dojo in at least 4 different rounds. Fnatic does follow up and take down Momo as well, and it's going to be Washroom about to be contested along with White Stairs. The attackers don't really seem to know what to do next. They're at a standstill, and they're kind of paralyzed by fear about progressing forwards, but they're still going to try their damnedest to do whatever they can, and it's going to be the Jaeger finding behind that soft breach wall. Washrooms and White Stairs are being contested, but the flash grenade does go down and gets knocked around. Now, how is that going to affect Washrooms? It does not. 22 seconds left, and it's a back and forth between the two teams. Cristo takes down Mob, and it's going to be John and Cristo, the last ones alive, to get that diffuser and replant. Cristo does take down Og, and keep in mind, this isn't the first time we have seen that happen. He did get a 3K to secure 1 round. John does take down another one. It's going to be a 2v2. The frag grenade goes down as well. And that is going to be a 1v1. Timer goes down completely, and it's going to be up to Q Fnatic to secure the round in their favor. And yes, he does not waste any time. No knives, nothing fancy. Just a straight up running headshot from Q Fnatic and to secure their second round on the board.
That was a great attempt by Dojo to try and bring it back. They almost did. It was a 1v1 by the end, and what started out as a 3v. I just marked my entire leg with pen. That is, well, that's unfortunate. That's what happens when idle hands, kids. They are the devil's work. Anyways, back to the cast. We're just having a fun time.
We cast at midnight. Oh yeah.
It's not even midnight yet. It's only 11:57. We still got 3 minutes before the real crackhead energy starts coming out.
Oh man, I've already drank 1 pot of coffee today, man.
Dude, coffee before cast, man. I would not be able to sleep. By the way, also, alarm bells. We got a Capitao and a Gridlock. That's something new we haven't seen so far.
This is good. This is a really good, I think, advantageous attacking round. We've been seeing the same usual comp before, you know, the IQ, Zofia, Ashe, Hibana, and Thermite. And we've been seeing that a lot. I mean, Dojo switches it up. They bring the Kali out a lot, which is fine. It spices things up a little bit and does give some advantages like the, you know, the Lance EMP, but having the Capitao and the Gridlock is really good because you don't have the air jab to like solely be around and immediately take off on. It has a long game effect with the spikes. You have to shoot them, which gives you an audio cue, and it can potentially damage the defenders as well. The big question I have, however, is that Capitao bolt and the Wamai discs. We've been seeing John with those steel wave operators being able to, or shifting tiles, I apologize, having a really hard time with those Capitao bolts. So I'm not really sure what the Wamai discs are going to do against those, or what the Capitao bolts are going to bring towards those magnet discs. It's going to be a back and forth of whether or not it's going to be effective or a really huge counter.
It certainly means that clearing utility will be a much more imperative endeavor for All4One to undertake going into their execute on Cocktail. Again, nothing all that crazy going on from these defenses. It's almost, aside from the Goyo, it's actually, I think, the same as that very first round. Wamai, Jaeger, Doc, Smoke, maybe a few differences, but the Doc was also featured in that first defensive round from All4One. He's going to be holding those same long angles, and John on the Wamai will surely be holding that same angle in Pixel, and yes, he will. Flash Bangs will fly out from the Capitao. Now he'll prep a Firebolt to try and drive John out of that position. They're looking like they're taking a bit of time. Arcturus, in the meantime, will open that Christmas wall. No problem at all with 2 minutes remaining. This is exactly the spot where you want to be, but they're on... Oh my god, Doofus on a rotate sprint follow with an ill-advised vault over. I'm not entirely sure what he was going for, but there's a reason you just walk down the stairs instead of vaulting over them. And Doofus is the exact lesson on why you do that.
Now it's midnight. With that being
now
said,
it's midnight.
Minute 47 left on the clock. Now it's midnight. The real energy starts coming down. Smoke bolts going down everywhere inside Cigar, and that's gonna be the smoke vaulting up. But they doesn't get punished for it. Hello? Okay, that's fine. All things considered, sure, why not? But Doofus is going to be playing on the mid-tier level of red stairs. Now, the drones are going to be going down on the bottom of mid-stairs, and it doesn't seem like the Gridlock smokes are out either. And Doofus doesn't seem to be aware. Oh, no, they were out. But that's going to be punished no matter what anyways. okay, it's a 3v3, and we're seeing a lot of crazy plays coming out from both sides. It's a 4v2 right now. You can't afford to be making silly plays as either team. John takes down Q Fnatic, and that might be securing the round already. Arcturus is very lit up, and he's struggling quite a bit. Now the double dock stim is going to come down on the John, who's still holding Cigar, and that shield is still completely up and unpunished. That's not a good look for the attackers with a minute left. Now the diffuser still is in hand, and that's a really good sign, but the thing is, everyone on the defending team is still in proper positions. There is going to be Arcturus, I believe, near a new patch around the pillars trying to find an angle, but it's going to be Bristow who gets a few lit up, and it's going to be Riptide to secure it out. It's down to Mob, the last one alive right now in a 1v3. It's going to be John still hiding behind the shield, but he wants to play the patient game. You progress forward, you're going to get killed. But no, he's going to rotate around onto pillars. He's completely stuck. 20 seconds left, and you can go for the diffuser, but there's not really much you can do. You lose this round, and it'll put you do lose the round. It's going to put you a match point closer in Dojo's favor towards set point between the two teams on map number 3. Again, now if Riptide and Dojo only need 2 more rounds to bring this all back, and All4One is struggling just about as much as we had seen last map before. I'm not really sure why they had lost all that steam going from maps 1 to 2 to 2 to 3. I'm not sure what happened, but they are not showing up once again.
Maybe Clubhouse is just their map. Maybe they just they hear the music, they see the animation, they see the opening screen, and just something about it. Maybe it just gels with them. But yeah, All4One, they've been certainly absent from map 2, and map 3 seems to be following that same trend. But also, Keg, that might be the first match in months that I can remember Pixel never got cleared out. I've never seen, or I don't know if I've never seen it, but it has been a long time, so long I definitely can't remember, where I've seen a team not even be able to clear out Pixel before it got to a minute. I've seen teams take a long time to clear out Christmas. I've seen a long time to take out Cigar, to get that map control, to get walls open. I've not seen a team struggle so hard to clear Pixel. It's basically, third floor is probably the site attackers know how to attack the most. It's been the most played for a long time. Not so much anymore, but in this match, certainly. So attackers pretty much know how to clear it out. And clearing out Pixel, it's not that hard. You throw some flashes, you throw some Zophias over. Oh, by the way, we had a disconnect, so that's unfortunate. All4One certainly not having much help in this match. You throw some flashes, Ash charges, you clear the magnets and ADSs, you blow up the shield, they rotate back. No rehost is being called, by the way. I don't know if they've called rehost. I would just ask real quick if they have. Not entirely sure, but yeah, they weren't even able to clear out Pixel, and All4One, even if they had that man there, honestly, I'd still give this to Dojo's favor right now.
Yeah, I think Dojo has had it really secured so far when it comes to Cafe. Even from defense to attack, or attack to defense in their favor, it's been working out pretty well. And it looks like Dojo might want to rehost after this round, or at least offering it to All4One, which is a really nice offer, all things considered. But all things considered,
They're just going for a rush.
This is a full-on rush. You might as well. You're down a person. Just screw it. Why not, right? It's midnight. It's a Thursday now. You know, you're feeling it, man. But it's gonna be a 4-1 here, down to Arcturus being the last one alive. That's the quickest round we've seen so far. 6-2 now. Dojo 1 point away from winning this set that had started so many hours ago. Now finally coming close to a conclusion. And it looks like we'll be stalling this conclusion a little bit with a rehost for the favor of All4One. Now, keep in mind, we were plagued with technical issues in map number 1, and it looks like it's carried its way over to map number 3. Map number 2 was gloriously spared, but unfortunately, what comes around comes around.
Apparently, he's playing on a laptop too.
Yeah,
so
even better.
That's
even
important to note. Yeah, I mean, it's not not on our fault this end, not on our end, but yeah, this is Templar said it earlier. This is a cursed series. We're stuck here. We're in purgatory right now.
We died during the break, in between sets. We did.
How did you die, Keg?
Oh god, I don't even know. I probably just passed out. I probably drank too much coffee.
Can you imagine you overdosed on caffeine? It's like that Saved by the Bell episode where I don't know any of the characters from Saved by the Bell. There's a character, she gets addicted to caffeine pills, and it's like it was a really dark storyline from what I understand. But yeah, that's how Keg died. A caffeine overdose. It happens to the best of us.
I can't say I've taken caffeine pills, but when I was in high school, I was working my first job. I did take a lot of caffeine mints which was like, I don't even know, like 40 milligrams, maybe a mint. And let me tell you, whew, they were fun.
Those were something.
That
Those
was
really
fun
get you
time.
going.
But then I
Kinda,
ran out of
yeah.
those mints and I just didn't buy any more.
Yeah, well, you didn't buy any more mints, and All4One at this point, their only hope is buying rounds because they have not been able to earn them so far by their play. That's for certain. Even that round, sure they rushed, and I mean, if one of my players crashed, I probably would too. You aren't able to call a rehost, or you didn't call a rehost. Maybe they thought he was going to come back. I'm not sure if they had a rehost available, but they already used it. Who knows? Either way, it's 6-2 now, despite that. And I don't know. This is just a rough spot to be in for All4One. I had a lot of hopes for this series. I really did. That first map, given where their spot in the standings, I thought this had the potential to be close, and that we would see a new revitalized All4One that had learned from their past failings and this past off week they've had before this match, and see them going strong. First map seemed to be like that, but then since then it's just been a dojo game and a dojo round after a dojo round.
Yeah, it's Dojo really woke up after map number 1. I think you were right when you said that All4One really had it nailed down on a Clubhouse. That is their map. That is what they like to use so much. And so right now, All4One Og is using a backup router. That's not something you hear every day, and we're gonna be going straight back into the match.
This man's got a spare modem in his back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I
this
guess.
happens.
Yeah, he's just plugging it into the generator at the side of his house. He's playing it outside. Wind's blowing in his ears.
We're not in The Last of Us. I'm sure he has power beyond just a generator.
I mean, maybe, he's probably in between houses or apartments or wherever he's at, and he's probably just screaming in the comms in the middle of the night, and people are asking him to shut up from their windows.
He lives right next to Red Cube out in the woods, just somewhere. He's just in the forest.
He's the bobcat that bothers Red Cube all the time.
We found him, guys. We found the bobcat. He's been playing Siege this whole time. That's how we found him.
Oh my! You can tell it's midnight.
It certainly is midnight. Hey, possible last round. Oh my god! I thought Crystal was gonna pull up the cap for a second. I know it's midnight, but you don't have to go that hard
not that
for the
midnight.
energy. It's not that kind of midnight. It's not invitational quals kind of late yet. That's when the cap plays can start coming out. That or if it's in a United game. But anyways, I digress. I'm sorry. It was low-hanging fruit. You got to go for the easy joke every now and then.
Very true. Very true.
I apologize for that one. That one's on me. But anyway, potentially the final sight of this entire series. It's match point, series point right now. It's going to be Dojo defending Kitchen for, again, potentially the final sight. Christo bringing the Echo, Doofus on the Mozzie. Going to be the two main info denial if you're Mozzie. That'll be in play this round. And of course, we have the classic Jaeger with my combo. And rounding that out will be the hard breach denial. That is Momo. No mute being brought means that Momo will likely only focus his Electro Claws on the hatch inside of dining room and probably bakery wall would be my guess. And yup, there we go. Actually, which wall? What is he electrifying right there? Where did he throw it? He went upstairs to throw it, so I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, either way, this is a bold strategy. We'll see if it pays off. Not entirely sure where he threw it, but hey, maybe it's some cheeky spot that none of us knew of. Ooh, I wonder why they're reinforcing that hatch.
Oh, yep. I didn't want to say anything, but they threw the electric claw prematurely for the reinforcement of the hatch and then it opened back up. I was about to say, hey, you know what would be weird? If that's what they did, and that's what they ended up doing. So now it seems a little bit less weird and kind of odd overall, but you know what? Whatever.
We'll see. Bold strategy. We'll see if it works off. Again, I'm not entirely sure of the intent. They don't have anybody playing over in Mighting. Maybe it's just to allow for rotates easier. Oh, Riptide? No, he actually is playing in Train. Never mind. I apologies for that. So yeah, we'll allow for Riptide to play with comfort inside of Mining and require the attackers, if they want to get some vertical play onto the Jaeger down below, to either open up that soft floor, which would mean they would waste some uses over on a different part of the site, as they are bringing the sledge, so won't be wasting that much. But hey, it's something new, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like new things too.
I do too.
I have a shopping addiction.
What?
But anyways, it's 6-2 right now. There's a minute 40 left on the clock, and we do see a few different operator changes like we mentioned before on Dojo's team. Now, there was a bit of a tactical rehost going in All4One's favor, and so maybe that gave them a little bit of time to think. This has been one of the longest rounds we've had so far without an opening pick. And that Echo's not going to work out, buddy.
Maybe just for info. Maybe he's trying to get info.
It may be bulletproof. It may stick to ceilings and be invisible, but it can't fly yet. I'm sure that'll happen.
There it goes.
but it goes down, unfortunately, and it's going to be a really slow attack, all things considered. Springfolo getting the opening pick against Christo. That's going to be your Echo going down first, and that's not a good look. And in fact, it's Mob who takes down Momo next. That's going to be your 2 anchors, and Riptide goes down as well. It's a 2v4. You do lose down on Q Fnatic, but at what cost? That cost is 3 different bodies. Now, with 50 seconds left, you're probably wondering what you can do next. You're down to your Wama, you're down to your Mozzie. It's not a good look, and you're 1 round away from ending it all. You could bring this back out of 3 maps, and it still could be in the favor of All4One, but it's going to be Og who finds Doofus, and now you're down to John. But John does find 1. He takes down 1. He takes down 2. That's going to be 2 bodies off the board and 2 more left for him to conquer. But they're behind John. He's not aware of this, and now he's going to circle around. He goes for the YP. He takes down another 1.
Oh my god!
What? The 4K coming out from John, securing it all, and that's going to be 3 maps done for Dojo.
Do not peek this man. He just wins his gunfights 24/7. That's what John does, and that's the top fragger for this match, I believe, clutching in a 1v4 to end the map 7-2. I thought this was going to go further. I would bet money that John was a dead man. Oh my god. What a way to end on, Keg. What a way to end this insane series on.
Absolutely. And with that being said, a 4K, I guess it wasn't an ace, but yeah, a 4K to end it all. Really good way of energizing and waking yourself up at the very end of a best of 3. Literally going to the 3rd map 7-2. Overall, All4One has a lot more potential than I think they've had in the past. Now, I don't want to make any recommendations for team swapping or anything, but Q Fnatic has proven themselves to be a fantastic player today. With that being said, though, they are still just a sub, so we'll have to see what his future holds in the future. But right now, it's looking to be really bright.
It certainly is. No, I don't have much to add, honestly. Like there could have been more to add, but at the end of the day, All4One, they just didn't show up for those final 2 maps, and it was just, I said earlier, it was Dojo through and through. And if I were to keep talking, that's all there would be to talk about. But we're not gonna have an interview tonight, as it's 12:13 Eastern time. It's the next day, and we're all, to be honest, we're all kind of tired, casters, broadcasters, players alike. So, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. And Keg, I'll let you sign off. That's your job.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this insane best of 3 in the 2 sets that we had tonight. My name is Keglenek. You can find me on Twitter at Keglenek, KEGLUNNEQ, and you can find links on Twitter at Casting Links. That's going to be CASTINGLYNXX.
Nope. NNX.
NNX. I tried.
There
I don't know my cats too well. I'm a dog guy.
It's all good. I'm a dog guy too. Well, anyways, guys, hey, thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Wishing that I could run away with you. Imprisoned by fear, just pull me away.